Against the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Hi, everyone. I'm Tim Ryan, joined by Sean Salisbury. Welcome. This will be fun tonight. We know we're going to see a lot of points up there, mainly because of one guy, the new all-time college passing leader, Timmy Chang of Hawaii.
Those are numbers I can't even count to, Tim Ryan. Tim Chang's been absolutely spectacular. Has a lot of pressure being from Hawaii and playing with the Hawaii Warriors, but I will tell you this. This is the pass last week against Louisiana Tech that broke the all-time record, and it just happened to be a touchdown. He operates a run-and-shoot offense, but can operate out of any offense, but run and shoot, a lot of yards, a lot of points. They will put the ball through the air tonight.
A lot of good quarterbacks in college football this season. Paul Pinniger got off to a good start with Fresno State early, struggled a bit, but he's been hot the last couple of games.
Yes, and he's not Trent Dilfer, David Carr physically as far as being able to throw the ball, former Fresno State quarterbacks. But what Paul Pinniger is, he's a winner. This guy makes plays. He's 20-8 as a starter. The key for him, though, is to be a little bit more accurate. They want to run the football, and the times they do throw, he's got to be able to make those plays with his arm. But it's his winning ability that has him as a starting quarterback. Now we're proud to welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Stacy Dale Schumann. And Stacy, it may not be offense, it may be something extra special that wins this football game tonight.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk with Coach Pat Hill before the game. The first thing that rolled off his tongue was special teams and field position. Yeah, you got to slow down Timmy Chang, but you got to make sure you have good field position so you can control the tempo of the football game. They spend a lot of time on special teams. The first 20 minutes of film devoted to special teams. The first 20 minutes of practice also devoted to special team, guys.
Special teams with a Pat Hill coach squad always are going to be a factor in the victory or the loss. And coming up, Hawaii and Fresno State with a kickoff in a moment.
You know how you always say you could make a meal just out of our soft garlic breadsticks, fresh hot soups, and crisp garden salad? You can. The unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch.
Sony's family of CyberShot cameras. Sony, like no other. And Olive Garden. When you're here, your family.
Well, here at Bulldog Stadium, this is part of their ritual. They'll come bursting out of that timeout tunnel there. They usually have some fan who's leading them on. He won an auction to do this, and it's a big moment here. Every time they play at home, they add just a little more excitement. They love their Bulldogs in the valley, as they call it.
They sure do. Tim, I've spent some time in the doghouse, but not one that big and that fierce, so it should be pretty interesting. They'll come out. This is a heated rivalry. It is in the WAC. These two teams do not like each other. Should be fun to see. We got a physical against finesse. Fresno State wants to run it. Obviously, Hawaii wants to pass it. I know Hawaii, in talking to their coaches in the pregame, they're a little bit nervous about their defense and some injuries.
Fresno State looking to revenge the loss at Hawaii, 55-28. A year ago, they got hammered over there on the islands. And here come the Bulldogs. Timmy Chang warming up as he usually does. He throws a lot of balls in warm-ups, and then you know he's going to throw about 50 a game. Here come the Bulldogs through the smoke and the fireworks. And they are a 5-3 team, bowl eligible if they can get another victory. They expect to do so. And we've got a moment here before the kickoff to check in with Reese Davis. Reese, what's going on? You're looking at Paul Pinniger, the quarterback for Fresno State, the junior from Woodland, California, a 6'4", 220-pounder. And you heard Sean talk about his career record, and Pat Hill underlined that when we talked to him yesterday. He said, this guy wins. Yes, he's had some problems. The last couple of games he's been sharp. We believe in him. He believes in us. He's not a guy that throws around blame. He accepts things when they go badly for him and just tries to get better. And Pat Hill confident that he's got his squad ready tonight for this high-scoring Hawaii team.
You're not kidding. He's on through contract through 2008 is Pat Hill. But I'll tell you what, he would love to play the big boys every single game. That's what you got to love about him. He wants to bring everybody on anywhere, anytime. But he's extremely intense. I always believe, Tim, that players take on the personality of their head coach. That's the kind of football they want to play. This guy loves football, and if he could put on a uniform himself, I promise you he'd be coming out there playing and making a few tackles also.
Well, you know, Fresno State, they beat Washington to start the season. Then they beat the then 13-ranked Kansas State. And they had the feeling then that they might be the BCS bowl buster from outside of the BCS conferences. But, of course, then they ran into a losing streak. They went down to Louisiana Tech, UTEP, and then Boise State. And they've had to struggle back. But one thing about Pat Hill, he says, hey, we would do it the same way every time. Give us a shot at the big guys.
No question about it. And there you see the 2004 schedule. They go in Washington and Kansas State, and a great start for them. But he wants to play the big boys because he figures you got nothing to lose. If you do lose those, and if you win, you're a hero. And he's on the opposite side of another guy who's contracted through 2008, June Jones. You talk about winningest coach in Hawaii history, has had an unbelievable run. He'll put the ball in the air a lot today. He loves this, and this is a great feud going on between these two teams.
Boy, you won't meet two better guys.
Oh,
man.
man.
I mean, they're a treat to be around. They have such a great attitude toward their sport and college football and getting their athletes graduated. They're just two quality people. They love their sport. They love where they are. And they're great competitors. Yeah, I mean, you know, Pat Hill's thinking 55 they put up on us in Hawaii last year. We're going to take care of that tonight here in Fresno. Bulldogs kick it off. Ferguson gets that over the 15-yard line. Stopped at about the 16, and Timmy Chang, after a 14-yard return, will lead him on out. Timmy Chang, who passed Ty Detmer last week. He is a 23-year-old senior playing his final games of college football and hoping to make it into the National Football League. This guy is a great, great talent. And when you hear June Jones talk about him, you know that here's a guy that's coached in the pros. June Jones feels that he's got the stuff, even though he's not talked about in the same way as many of the other stars in college football at his position. Starting in the running back position, a 280-pounder, West Kelly Ikepi. And they go to him on first down, and he's stacked up in the middle. Offensively, the rest of the lineup, Michael Brewster normally gets the start there, and you'll see lots of him at the running back. Britton Comine, Jason Rivers, Chad Owens, Gerald Welch. They do a lot of running around and catching a lot of passes from Timmy Chang. Across the front, Isera, Satelli, Moanoa getting the start tonight for the injured Bahavi, and Eaton and Inferrera. The rest of that offensive line. Derek Bahavi, their starting center, an outstanding player, out with an injury tonight. 2nd and 9, Hawaii at their own 16. Chang, and that's complete. Good catch on the turnaround, but no flag down.
I think he dropped the 2.
Delay of game on the offense, number 14.
Delay of game. Penalty against the Warriors. And defensively for the Fresno State Bulldogs. Across the front, Ryan Morris. Garrett McIntyre, he's got 6 sacks, 34 tackles, and he was a walk-on. Danielle Booker and Claude Sanders, the rest of that front. They've got 2 youngsters starting tonight because of injuries. Marcus Riley and Alan Goodwin at the linebacker spots. In the middle, it's Dwayne Andrews. And then the secondary, outstanding player in Richard Marshall on the corner, joined by Marcus McCauley there. And watch the strong safety, James Sanders. He's got 3 picks along with 3 interceptions for Marshall defensively for Fresno State. Chang swings it out. The running back, Brewster, and it's well covered. Fresno State says they have the football, but there's no signal from the officials. Yes, there is. Fresno State, ball came loose. Let's see it here again, Sean.
I can assure you this isn't the way you want to start a game. Getting stuffed on your first one, penalty, and then laying the ball on the ground. Great swarm tackling by a lot of red jerseys. And Fresno State, Johnny on the spot. You do not, and I know they could score a lot of points, Hawaii can, but this is exactly the way Fresno State wanted it. Hit him in the mouth, give themselves the short field, and now you look for them to try and control it on the other side with the offensive line. Great swarm tackling by the Fresno State defense.
And it was Kelly Ikepi who dropped the ball. Claude Sanders came up with it for Fresno State, first down at the 10-yard line here in the early going. The Bulldogs with a great opportunity. Sumlin, the running back. Bryson Sublin gets a couple. And we're looking at Paul Pinniger, the junior from Woodland, California, passing at 57%, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and that's been his problem this season, but none in the last 2 games won by Fresno State. Rice, he was 12 of 18, had a good game there. 3 touchdown passes and no picks last week. Second down. Sumlin, the running back. Down to about the 5, and a big pile up there as the Warriors trying desperately to come up with a loose ball. The rest of the Fresno State offense, Sumlin and joined by the fullback Roshan Bircher, and then Fernandez, Jennings, and the tight end Steven Spock. Across the front, an outstanding left tackle, Logan Mankins. Watch him throughout the game. Ryan Wendell, Kyle Young, D'Artagnan Shack, and Chris Denman, sophomore at right tackle.
We'll be calling those guys names a lot tonight because they like to dominate the line of scrimmage.
On the 5-yard line, third down, they've got 2 tight ends in, Spock and Reed. Duncan Reed, number 86. Vinegar wants to throw, and he drills it high and over the head of Fernandez, who wants a flag. And there is a flag down in the end zone. He might get the call. Elamimian on the coverage of Joe Fernandez, number 84, the intended receiver. Referee tonight is Frank White, officiating crew from the Western Athletic Conference.
Pass interference on the defense, number 42. The ball was by rule placed on the 2. Automatic first down.
Playing it a little too tight. I like the fact that you pressure him as the defense down by the goal line, a high throw. No need to do that. Grab him around the waist. Pass interference. You're going to get first down inside there. This is all going right for Fresno State. That's been the problem for Pinniger. Accuracy to his own people.
They've got a 1st and goal from the 2. Sumlin the lead back. Sumlin diving is stopped short of the goal line. Bonga and Funga, the tackles, combining there to clog up the middle, keeping him out of the end zone. And Fresno State's been just hot in the red zone. Look at that number. I mean, that's really impressive.
Timmy, it's the one on the left, the 13 TDs. It's huge because when you play a team like Hawaii that can score mega points on a regular basis, you don't want to kick field goals because 15 points may not be enough in this game.
That's right. And they've been very, very consistent, as you can see in recent games. Vinegar gives to Sumlin. Touchdown. Bryson Sumlin. And so the Bulldogs, with the turnover early by Hawaii, get the jump on the Warriors. 11:20 to go in the first. Bryson Sumlin, the junior from Bakersfield, California, former cornerback, became the running back. And of course, when they lost Wayne Wright, who was a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, Sumlin and Wendell Mathis had to pick up the slack. So Sumlin comes up with the score. But Vicentainer will attempt the point after. Shift their line over. Backup quarterback Jordan Christensen with the hold. No problem for Vicentainer. 10 yards in 4 plays, and the leading score early, 7-0 Fresno State over Hawaii. We're back at Fresno State, where the Bulldogs have a 7-0 lead. 11:20 to go in the first. There's the guy who scored the touchdown, Bryson Sumlin, a junior from Bakersfield, California. 509 yards rushing coming into the game. And we got one from a yard out after the fumble by West Kaliikipi, the 280-pound running back for Hawaii.
It's a lot of real estate with that big back, Tim.
Woo. Vicentainer. And it's Ferguson. The speedster, just 5'5", gets it out to the 19-yard line and driven out of bounds there. So Timmy Chang now with June Jones giving him the instructions, and yet another flag on the play. We've got a bunch of early flags.
Unsportsmanlike on the kicking team, number 31. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Mark Marcus Riley charged with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Pat Hill saying, hey, what happened there?
Those are penalties that kill you early, Tim, that are inexcusable because they can be controlled. And I'll guarantee that drives Pat Hill nuts because they had good field position as far as defensively. You let a team get out to the 35-yard line. Can't have those mistakes.
First down from the 34-yard line. Booster is the running back, and they go to him on first down. Booster digs it out to about the 39-yard line. Met there by McIntyre. Well, before Timmy Chang got to be number 1, Phillip Rivers, 4-year starter at North Carolina State. Steve McNair, number 3 all-time. Of course, Ty Detmer. They lost that record to Timmy Chang, great Heisman Trophy winner at BYU. 15,031 yards, and the new mark is 303. 15,303. Kelly Ikepi back at the running back position now, and Chang wants to throw on second down. He's going deep, and it is just broken up at the last second by McCauley, Marcus McCauley. Intended for Chad Owens. And Owens, it looked like Owens thought that ball's coming. It was a perfect pass. A great play by McCauley.
That is a great football play, and I say it all the time. College, NFL, play the football. That's a great job by McCauley. Ball's in the air, locates. Have a look now. His eyes are on the ball. He's not on the receiver. You feel the receiver, play the ball, gets his hand up there, breaks it up. That's pro play all the way there by McCauley. That's just great football in the secondary.
Chad Owens thought he was going to the end zone with that one. Third down. 3 wide receivers to the left. We're going to see at least 4 on every play. Chang, quick release and batted away. Well played. Brian Morris, number 55, and that's exactly what Pat Hill said he was hoping they could do. Get their hands up in those lanes.
That's exactly what you got to do, because this is an offense that wants to throw in seams and lanes, and if you can't get to the quarterback, do a real smart thing like Ed Too Tall Jones used to do for the guys. Stick your hands in the air. You get a bat, you may get an interception. Smart football play by Brian Morris. Not enough defensive players do it. This is obviously a well-taught football team at Fresno State.
Morris, a senior from Moreno Valley, California. Great job on that play, and Hawaii will have to punt. Kurt Milne is the punter, and backcourt is Adam Jennings waiting for it at the 18 of the Bulldogs. Good kick. Backs him up to the 20. Forced deep. Looking for blocking help. He runs out of real estate, goes out of bounds at the 19-yard line of Fresno State. Good job by Hawaii's punting unit. A loss of 3 on the return. 41-yard punt. So Paul Pinniger will take over when we return to Bulldog Stadium.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors. Wake up and drive. And Labatt Blue. Break out the blue.
We're back at Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. Cool California night. Timmy Chang hoping for an opportunity to get the ball back early here. He's down 7-0, and here's Sumlin breaking loose, and the ball comes loose. Hawaii gets a hand on it, goes out of bounds. It appears to be Warriors' ball. That's what Timmy Chang was hoping for. Leonard Peters knocked it loose out of the hands of Sumlin. Sumlin had a great run going.
Excellent job by the Hawaii Warrior defense. You get him in the open field. This is just a real simple gut play. In the open field, nice job of trying to tackle, then hit and strip. That's a beautiful job. You got him with one arm, hit up with the football. You got to secure it. He doesn't. Ball back to Hawaii. Exactly what Hawaii wants now to get a little momentum for themselves, Tim, with this kind of field position. Nice job. Good recovery by Elamimian.
So Timmy Chang has a first down for the Warriors at their own 32-yard line. Down 7-0 first quarter. Passing on first down, and that is off the mark, incomplete. Intended for Gerald Welch, number 38. And we have 9:56 to go here in the first quarter at Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, where the 4-4 Hawaii Warriors against their arch rivals in the WAC, Fresno State at 5-3. And the fumble by Kelly Ikepi early by the Warriors sets up the opportunity for Fresno State. They took advantage going from 10 yards out on a 1-yard touchdown run by Sumlin to take the 7-0 lead. It was Warriors ball, second down at their own 37-yard line. Michael Brewster, the running back. Give it to him, nowhere to go. Excellent defense out that side. That's Marcus Riley, the redshirt freshman linebacker, starting for the injured Manuel Sanchez.
Nice job inside, Brewster, but nice rallying. You see in now Fresno State, when you see 4 or 5 jerseys around people so they can't get a chance to break a tackle and run, that's when you know things are going well. And there's a lot of red on the field and not a whole lot of white jerseys around to block them. Pat Hill's got his team fired up because Hawaii's had his number the last handful of years.
Hawaii's won in this series the last 3 times, although Fresno has a 1-game differential in the career series between the two teams. Chang going deep, and he overthrows the intended receiver, Britton Comine. Comine had just passed the defenders, found himself loose down there, but the pass a little too long. Another kicking situation for Hawaii.
Yeah, very difficult, Tim. When you win on 1st and 2nd down as a defense and you come in 3rd and 10, I don't care if you're run and shoot West Coast offense. I don't care if you have Brett Favre and team. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook at 3rd and 10. Try to get it all in one fell swoop. Don't get it. Punt again. Fresno State's going to get it back.
Bert Milne standing at his 23 to kick it. Adam Jennings waiting for it at the Fresno State 20. Nearly blocked. And up at the 30-yard line, Jennings nowhere to go. Good open field tackle, hauls him down. Good job by Ray Bass. A 33-yard punt and a near block by the Bulldogs.
And that's nothing shocking. When you hear about special teams in this country, you always hear Virginia Tech, and there's another flag on the field, Tim.
Boy, we've got a lot of early penalties here. This is a motion call against Hawaii.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Number 49. That penalty is refused. First out.
Getting back to that special teams, Pat Hill's team, they've blocked 53 kicks in his time here.
It's amazing.
In 8 seasons. Yeah, Frank Beamer's team at Virginia Tech has that national reputation, and deservedly so. But let's not look past Pat Hill's team as a special teams, because somehow, some way, that's worth 2 or 3 wins on the year. And Pat Hill, as Stacy told us in the open, makes a major commitment on the practice field and the film room to make sure that that's given equal time to offense and defense. And it's been a difference for him why he's such a winner here, as he pays attention to the detail of special teams.
Wendell Mathis, the running back on this drive now, number 22. Out to the 37-yard line. Looking at Hawaii's defense, they've had a lot of injuries. They're really struggling. Purcell, Funga, and Faga in the middle. And I'm going to try my 7-syllable
Better you
Hawaiian
than me,
name.
buddy.
I've been rehearsing it, but I want to make sure I get it right. Kamaka Vivo Ole. His first name is Kila. And the linebackers, Alan Jones getting a start tonight ahead of Kapanui, along with Ho'ohuli, because Kernan is out, their middle linebacker, the starter. Mathis again. Mathis over the 50-yard line into Hawaii territory. Wendell Mathis, the junior, picks up 14 and a first down. Fresno State rolling on the ground. Watson Ho'ohuli made the stop.
He's a little bit more explosive than someone is. They both rotate, obviously, with the injury, and get a little inside, outside, a little more move and swivel of the hips in Mathis. And you're going to see Pat Hill go to a different look with Sumlin and Mathis the entire time. Pinniger just wants to manage.
Here's Mathis again. Mathis off tackle, gets another 3 yards on the play. Hawaii's had 5 starters missing action defensively throughout the season. It's just been one after another. But Kaika Kernan, their main man in the middle, out with an ankle injury. Tanavasa Moy out with a hamstring. They're just forced to put a lot of backup players in there, and it has hurt them defensively all season long. They're ranked number 111 out of 117 in Division I defensively. Mathis digs for another 3 yards over the 45-yard line.
There you see it, Tim, those 2 backs, Sumlin, Mathis. Had a lot of carries, but a nice job. 63 for one, 65 for another. 11 touchdowns between them. That's pretty good balance. So, you know, Sumlin gets most of the carries, but you can see that Mathis is pretty doggone explosive with the lack of carries he gets. This is a good 1-2 punch and it's been good for Pinniger when they're successful at quarterback.
They like to have that running back, and running right, of course, 1,000-yarder a year ago, hurt in the second game of this season against Kansas State and gone for the year. Pinniger forced out of the pocket. He's going to take off, and Pinniger gets over the 40-yard line before he goes out of bounds. He'll be close to the first down. He may have it. Good job by Paul Pinniger once he was flushed.
Tim, there's probably 8 or 10 times in a game of quarterback when things don't go right in the pocket. You either pull it down and run, you throw it to the other team, you throw it to your guy, or you do what Pinniger did. Be smart. We're just trying to move the chains as he does. It's not there. Go through your reads. Keep your head up the field. Now make your decision. You run. Get over there and get out of bounds. Nice job barely picking up the first down, moving the chains. That's what Pat Hill, the head coach, is talking about. The guy wins. He's 20-8 as a starter. He's not going to be spectacular, but he'll manage it.
The ground again. Mathis. Mathis breaks tackles. Still going. Has another first down. The Bulldogs grind it out. Finally, Leonard Peters hauls him down, but not until he gets to the 26-yard line.
What's interesting, Tim, I talked to the Hawaii coaches before the game talking about their defense, and with those injuries that you mentioned, they're just not big. They're very small. Yes, they can run a little bit, but they're a little light in the backside, and this happens. Guys carry you push. This will not be an East-West football game for Fresno State. They are going to come right at you and make those smallish linebackers make a play. Very dominant up front by Fresno State. A good start. This is the way they want the tempo to go.
Bulldogs have rushed 11 times. They've got 97 yards. They go again and get another 3 or 4. Loose ball, and it's picked up by the Warriors. Looked like they had the ball, but no indication. It's still Fresno State ball.
Well, this right here is not good. This is Hawaii defense, and June Jones, their head coach, understands. 108 in points allowed, and that's the most important statistic. Yards are overrated unless the yards turn into points. 117 Division I teams. Look where they ranked them. 108. That is not good. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that their offense is finesse, and that's what their defense sees in practice every day.
Bryson Sumlin is now the running back, giving Mathis a blow. He's had a good drive in this series. This is Sumlin, and he breaks a tackle and steps inside. Touchdown! Bryson Sumlin from 28 yards out. He just kept those legs churning. 22-yard score. (13-0) Fresno State lead as the Bulldog fans enjoy this, getting the jump on Hawaii. Remember, a year ago over on the islands, it was 55-28 for the Warriors. Brett Vicentainer ready for the point after. The Bulldogs grinding it out on the ground. Just physically dominated the Warriors so far in this first period.
And they will continue to do this. We talk about running inside. Sumlin, 34, going to get the carry. Inside, Broadway comes up, cannot make the tackle. You have got to wrap up against somebody bigger than you. Leads to a touchdown and a 14-point Bulldog lead.
Wednesday night, the NBA is on ESPN.
So the Bulldogs at home here in Fresno jump into a 14-0 lead over the Warriors of Hawaii. 5:54 remaining in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns by Bryson Sumlin. One from a yard out, one from 22 yards out. Vicentainer ready to kick it off. He is Ferguson. He takes it at the 4-yard line. Jason Ferguson, the freshman, gets a little running room, and Ferguson's got more running room going wide. Oh, and he's hauled down from behind. With a lot of real estate in front of him. Saving tackle there made by Jason Fairman, Jerron Fairman, pardon me, after a 23-yard return.
What a nice tackle in the open field. Because if he doesn't make this tackle, the 5'5" little man might be to the house. Nice job in there. Good job in double team on the block. Missed tackle, but then the effort to run. We keep seeing red jerseys flying around. Another one making the tackle there. Could have been much better field position with that, Tim. And if I'm Fresno State, I'm not getting too comfortable with the 14-point lead.
No, not with this explosive Hawaii offense. Chang. That's complete to Michael Brewster out of the backfield. Let's go down to the sideline. Stacey Dale Schumann.
Yeah, guys, it's hard to believe, as good as Timmy Chang is, that just a year ago or last season, he was benched at the end of the season. Why? Well, he told me it was poor performance. June Jones tried to get him through it, tried to push him through it in an Alabama game, but he just couldn't manage. He ended up playing well throughout the end of the season, but he's a unique guy because it gave him a unique perspective on the sideline watching, and now he appreciates each and every snap he takes, guys.
All right, Stacy. Timmy Chang on 2nd and 6. Out to Kelly Ikipi, 280-pound running back. Sean Salisbury spoke at length with Timmy Chang yesterday and got some real info quarterback to quarterback.
You were benched in 2003. You talk about loving your head coach. Was the benching good for you?
Definitely.
Why?
Gave me a different perspective on the game of football. You know, I had the, not luxury, but I had, that experience of just, playing every game, and I wasn't playing too well. So when he took me out, it gave me another perspective, and I realized how important the game is, and, when you can lose it anytime. So, I just appreciate it so much, and, take every snap like it's my last.
Hawaii calling a timeout, and Timmy Chang, you can see if you haven't met this young man before, you just get such a great impression of him, Sean, and I know we're going to have some other portions of that interview that you did with Timmy as we had this timeout. Nice opportunity to have a chance to meet him. And, what's impressive is that it's as much as what June Jones says about the kid. He's had him for all 4 years. Obviously, he recruited him, and you talked about the pressure of being the Hawaiian quarterback in Hawaii, where this sport means so much from the Pop Warner leagues all the way through high school.
No
and so
question.
on.
And it's the only sport in town for them as far as football goes. I mean, high school sports is big. But I'll tell you right now, the way that Timmy Chang approaches it, he feels like the weight of Hawaii is on his shoulders. He really does every single time he goes out there. But you know what I found interesting also talking to him? Here's the all-time leading passing leader in college football history. Yet you would think that this is a walk-on trying to make a team. That's how humble he is. Doesn't want to give himself a whole lot of credit. I'm really, really fond of him. He's a very engaging young man, and I think he's going to play at the next level because June Jones believes that you don't see the best of him in a run and shoot, that he can do things in a regular conventional offense that a lot of guys don't get a chance to see him do.
Well, I think he's going to get the opportunity, but it'll probably be one of those, combine situations or a low draft choice. But I think the guy can play as well, and we haven't seen much of him tonight here, but there's a lot of football remaining in this game. So if you're seeing him for the first time, I'm sure before the evening is over, you're going to get a demonstration of his skills.
He's one of those guys you root for. He really is, Tim.
Kelly Ikipi picks up about 3 yards on the play, depending on the spot, and about a 2-yard pickup for the big running back.
Now that's ridiculous. 32 career 300-plus yard passing games, and then 8 career 400-plus yard passing games. That's spectacular. I mean, he throws for 300 yards when he gets off the team bus. So, and before this is over, I got a hunch that somehow, some way, with all the attempts they'll make, he'll get himself 300 again. 32 times over 300 yards. Ice that arm all year long. Good gracious.
2nd and 8, and Chang throws the out. Kamine trying to break loose out there. Couldn't get away from the tackler, and he'll be about a yard short of the first down. That's Iwan Dials, number 27, the nickelback in there in that secondary with all of these Hawaii receivers to cover. He's a junior from Tulare, California.
The run and shoot offense is an offense that relies on a lot of short passes and picks and run after the catch. Picks meaning you pick your guy, you're running across the field. And one thing you have to be in this type of offense is a smart player, because you do a lot of read on the run. You could be running a post play, the guy steps inside, then you got to run an out cut in the middle. And this is one of those that receiver and quarterback got to be on the same page. That's the essence of this run and shoot offense.
Michael Brewster now the running back. Chang, time, pumps once, and up the middle, overthrows his man. Intended for Jason Rivers, number 84, and Nate Ray had the coverage on him.
Like I said, when a receiver's in the middle of his route, he could be running an out, a go, a post, 3 or 4 different routes. The key to disrupting this offense, the run and shoot, is to get in the throwing lane, to make sure that you're in the throwing lane and not let him put his foot in the ground out of the gun and then throw the ball on time. When you disrupt timing in this, it becomes a major issue, and it becomes a lot of tip balls, high balls, interceptions, And once again, Fresno State forcing Hawaii to punt.
Frustration on the face of Timmy Chang there. He hasn't been able to get anything going yet, thanks to this solid defense by the Bulldogs. The punt from Milne. And not much of a return opportunity there. Good open field tackle. 39-yard punt, a 5-yard loss on the return. And let's remind you that tomorrow, 19 days, continues tomorrow with 17, day 17 on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2, and it's Alabama against Nick Saban's number 15 LSU Tigers tomorrow night. That's prime time at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN.
Baton Rouge, night games, tough place to play, and the rumors that Nick Saban may end up the Miami Dolphins head coach. So Nick says no, but we'll soon find out, I would imagine.
If you want to see it on HD, you can on ESPN HD tomorrow night. Alabama, LSU. 7:45 Eastern, ESPN. Sumlin is the running back. He's got a hole. Bryson Sumlin. Another nice move. Still going down the sideline, a missed tackle. He's got a blocker. Sumlin hauled down at the 2-yard line. C.J. Allen Jones saved the touchdown. What a run by Bryson Sumlin, 89 yards.
Talk about what they want to do. Bang it inside, then a little bounce. What a great move. Forced missed tackle. Another missed tackle. Hawaii. This is why they're ranked 108th defense against points in the NC2A, because they don't tackle well. Great effort to come and make the tackle. That's a huge, that'll add to your yards per carry for Fresno State. They're not doing anything fancy. That's 89 yards for someone. All they're doing is lining up, hitting you in the mouth. They do a lot of the Denver Broncos blocking schemes, and then they're wearing Hawaii's smallish defense down early here.
First and goal from the 1. Touchdown. Henniger takes it in himself this time, and Fresno State jumping all over Hawaii with 1:54 still to go in the first quarter.
If this thing continues like this, and to this point when they go in, I know we're still early in this game, so people believe me, Hawaii could score a ton of points quickly. But I guarantee you, June Jones will let his team have it because they're missing so many tackles on defense. And like I said, there's not reverses and cut. This is just simple football. Line up and see if you're man enough to stop me. And right now, Hawaii has not been.
Missed tackles, injuries, all kinds of problems defensively. The statistics bear it out. And that just puts more and more pressure on Timmy Chang and the offense. But Fresno State's defense has played very solidly so far. Going after is good. 90 yards in 2 plays. Henniger's 1-yard score.
Getting off the ball far faster. You know, one of the old cliches is the low man wins in football, especially on the physical offense, defensive line. They get down low. Hawaii's playing awfully high right now with Fresno State getting in there, and they're just dominating them at the point of attack. And there's June Jones. Had some struggles on the road. Has Hawaii obviously tough to travel, coming a long way. That's 9 and 15 at home. They're very difficult to beat. They beat a lot of good teams at home, but they are on the road right now. And in order the 3 or 4 games a year that they go on the road, they've got to find a way to play better defense. But I know this, that this team, they're going to score before this game's over, more than likely. And if June has to throw it 60 times, he will. But this is one play away from getting right back into it is Hawaii. But Fresno State's been much more physical so far, Tim.
Thanks to that 89-yard run, Bryson Sumlin has 168 yards and a pair of touchdowns on just 8 carries here in the first quarter.
Yeah, he can go relax for the rest of the game, and he's had himself a career game.
Timmy Chang, he's just eager to get back in there and make something happen.
Coaches are really smart on both sides of the ball, as we well know, and in talking to both staffs, the key was, can Hawaii deal with Fresno State's run game? And can Fresno State deal with Hawaii's pass game? And quite frankly, Fresno State's dominating Hawaii also with their defense on Timmy Chang and the pass offense.
Sanders kickoff, taken by Ferguson. Jason Ferguson from the 4. The little guy trying to find some running room. That's over the 25 and brought down at the 27 28-yard line. And for more about the travel problems for Hawaii, let's go down to Stacy.
Yeah, guys, Hawaii is quite a beautiful place, but they do have to make the jump to play on the mainland, and it's a little bit tough at times. Last night they got in late, they had to meet, they had to eat, of course, there's big linemen, and then they got to get to sleep. I talked to some of the players, and they told me when they travel to the mainland, they arrive at the hotel, they eat a big meal, and they go immediately to sleep so that they don't get backtracked, guys.
Well, in this case, and it's fairly typical of the road trips, they come over literally a night before. They stayed in Ontario, California the night before last, and then traveled in here yesterday. So, you know, it becomes like a two-day road trip for them, and it's the nature of the beast. Timmy Chang, and it's dropped, intended for Jason Rivers, a usually sure-handed receiver with 42 catches this season.
And you know, the flip side of that is the teams that have to go to Hawaii, they also got to make the long trek. You go over there and you got beaches, nice warm weather, and a loss of focus. And hopefully Mai Tais aren't included in that. And I mean, when you go over there, and it's a definite advantage for Hawaii when you have to come play at their place.
But it still sounds like a better deal for the traveling team.
I'm in.
2nd and 10 from the 26-yard line. They stack 3 receivers out to the right side this time. Chang from the shotgun. Find an open man. And he gets it off. And they stopped immediately. Chad Owens nowhere to go. There'll be a loss on the play as James Sanders, the safety, came up and dropped him for 23. I wonder about that green V. I just want to mention this. What's that got to do with Fresno State? Well, this city of Fresno is in the middle of the San Joaquin Valley. Their fans come here from all around this area, not just from the city of Fresno. There's a green V. It's on their helmets as well. And so it's an acknowledgement of the huge fan base they have throughout this beautiful agricultural valley, San Joaquin Valley.
They have a great following here at Fresno State. And getting back, you saw Sanders on the play, Tim. This team, they are not letting Hawaii's receivers get any breathing room. They are on top of them, and I always love when a defense plays that kind of physical ball and beat them at their own game. Get up in their face and make them work on offense. So Fresno State's defense is doing.
3rd down and 12 flags everywhere this time. So the ball comes up. Rod Sanders jumped, but was he drawn? We'll see. Referee is Frank White. Whack.
We've seen some 3rd and 10s. We've got a 3rd and 12. Bad situation to be this kind of yard down the distance.
All start on the offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty.
Well, he was drawn over by Jeremy Inferrera, the right tackle, number 74. Hawaii defeated Louisiana Tech last week 34-23, while Fresno State was beating up on Rice at Rice 52-21. They 5-3. The Warriors at 4-4. We've got Idaho, Northwestern, and Michigan State remaining. Trying to get to 6 and be bowl eligible, and you can see June Jones a little upset at the call. Nothing's gone right for his team so far. And the shotgun, gets it off quickly, intended for Jason Rivers, and that's off the mark. So Fresno State's got this offense of Hawaii totally rattled.
No rhythm at all. And this is a offense that has to be in rhythm. Get the ball out of your hand on time. And look at the total yards. 213 to Hawaii. I mean, to Fresno, for Fresno State, to 21 for Hawaii. And normally you would reverse those if you're talking about Hawaii with the numbers they put up. But doing a great job of disrupting passing lanes.
That's all on the ground, by the way.
Absolutely.
15 rushes, 213 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Oh, they faked the punt. And it is incomplete. That was Milne trying to get it to Noah, and Noah couldn't make the grab. Well, you got to give them points for guts there at this point. But it comes to naught, and Fresno State will have it at the 20.
You asked why at home. We're backed up. We're losing 21-0. We've got 21 yards of total offense, and I'm going to have my punter throw it down the field. You know what it says? You got to start to find and reach a gimmick, because right now nothing's working for your offense. You're looking for a momentum switcher, and what it's done now is put you in major problems. 2 times now they've had the ball in their end on a turnover and a change of downs inside the 20 for Fresno State, and that's just too easy. You could be an average football team and get it in the end zone. And I know June trying to get something going with his football team, and unfortunately a drop, and now a chance to go up by 4 scores is Fresno State.
Hill had the ball right there, but Nate Ray had the tight coverage. And here's a reverse.
He's going to walk in.
Adam Jennings, touchdown. A flag just before he got to the end zone, and he is in there with the score pending the penalty. Adam Jennings, wide receiver, coming around on a reverse, a little toss. Goes the distance. Let's see what the call is. Penalty is against Fresno State. They take the touchdown off the board.
2 penalties, too. One holding on the offense and another unsportsmanlike conduct on Pat Hill's team. And I don't know if that had something to do with the celebration or what have you.
Holding on the offense, number 74. Additionally, unsportsmanlike conduct on number 5, throwing the ball in the stands. Both penalties will be enforced.
Logan Mankins got the holding penalty, the tackle. Jennings at this point may not even have known that the flag had been thrown for the hold, and he gets the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Throwing the ball in the stands, that costs you money in the NFL. Just a penalty here.
So the touchdown comes back.
Would have come back anyway on the holding, but can't do this. I know it was harmless, but it cost you, moves you all the way back. 2 penalties because unsportsmanlike took after the play was over, took place.
So zeros are up. We've reached the end of the first quarter. And they'll have an untimed down here because of that penalty coming right at the end of the period. So there'll be one more play here.
Pat Hill's fuming.
The ball has been marched back to the 33-yard line.
And as you folks at home know, that the quarter can never end on a penalty, nor can a game, unless it's the team that's winning gets to refuse the penalty. But right now can't end on a penalty, so we'll play this snap with no time on the clock. Switch ends.
And the pass is complete to the big tight end Wood. Mark Wood gets down to the 15-yard line. He is stopped there. And we've now come to the end officially of his first quarter. And from the time they came out of the tunnel, it's been all Bulldogs here against the Warriors of Hawaii, a 21-0 lead. And with Sean Salisbury, Stacey Dale Schumann here at Bulldog Stadium, where the Bulldogs threatening again, opening the second quarter, and waltzing in is Mathis. Wendell Mathis cruised into the end zone as the Bulldogs continue to just run all over Hawaii's defense.
I'll tell you what's interesting, Tim, is that this Fresno State team wants to control the tempo on both sides of the ball. Well, if you notice, they're sprinting out of the huddle to the line, and you see Hawaii's players kind of milling around at the line of scrimmage, not ready. It's happened to them time and time again in this game. One more time, they come up, quick snap them, go on a quick count, get the thing going, and Hawaii cannot defend one more time, and it was complete domination.
Vicentini will attempt the point after. A 28-0 lead here as we have just begun the second period. 5 seconds into it, Vicentini connects. And the Bulldogs 28-0. Rockets' red glare goes above the Bulldog Stadium here. A 15-yard touchdown run by Wendell Mathis, the junior from Merced, California. 19 yards in 2 plays. Remember, this score came after the failed attempt to fake the punt and connect on the pass from deep in Hawaii territory. Noah unable to hold on to the pass from the punter, Bill. And that gave Fresno the opportunity. In fact, they scored once. Jennings' touchdown call back from 19 yards out by penalty, but this time Mathis takes it in.
As you see, Timmy Chang and June Jones, that was at the quarter break as they came back down. June probably telling him that if we're going to go back to Hawaii, could we please score some points? Timmy got a little smile. Like I said, an engaging guy. June Jones, the teacher, and Timmy Chang, the pupil. I don't imagine that you're going to see 21 yards total for Hawaii when this thing's over, but they better get it going fast because this could go downhill quickly. And then you start forcing balls, and the natural reaction for a quarterback is to start feeling more pressure and start trying to throw everything in there, and then you start forcing balls and they become turnovers. So Hawaii needs an answer, and they haven't had one yet.
Well, if you were going to defend the Hawaii explosive offense and the top college passer of all time, Timmy Chang, you could not do it better than Fresno State has done in the first quarter of play.
Absolutely. They've been stopping the throwing lanes because that's where you want to throw in this run and shoot, and they haven't been able to do it. And Timmy Chang's going to try to get this thing rolling. Great special teams coverage again by Fresno State to keep them inside the 20.
Ferguson got just 12 yards on the kickoff return. Clifton Smith down there quickly. He's a speedster. Make the tackle on the speedy Ferguson. So Hawaii starts from their own 17-yard line. They've not had any good field position. They've not had a chance to get anything going, and primarily due to some excellent defensive scheming by Fresno State and performance. Chang has time. Can't find the man. Now he gets it off, and it's complete. Good catch by Jason Rivers. He will be near the first down marker. Marcus McCauley made the tackle.
Dan Brown, the defensive coordinator for Fresno State, has called everything right. Nice job by Chang pulling it back down, gets pressured, hit the mouth. And then Rivers, you got to continue to run. Come. Man, run away. He does run away. Nice job. And a good throw by Chang under pressure. Got themselves a first down.
11-yard pickup for the first down. Jason Rivers on the catch. Taking a longer count here. That's Chad Owens in motion number 2. Chang's got some running room. He takes off, goes out of bounds after a pickup of about 3. Chased out by Claude Sanders, defensive end.
Another thing that June Jones, the head coach of Hawaii, said about Timmy Chang is that he's very good at improvising. That if things don't go well, he can still find a way to make things happen. Talked about a touchdown pass he threw a couple weeks ago where he had to scramble out, got hit in the mouth, made a perfect throw about 60 yards down the field. He loves this kid's attitude and believes, as we talked about earlier, Tim, that he's got Sunday play in him at the next level.
Another solid game by Chang last week in the win over Louisiana Tech. Second down, Chang, that's complete. These receivers, Komine, starting to get a little room to catch a ball from Timmy Chang. And well, we know that you may have seen the conversation that Sean Salisbury had with Timmy Chang. Here's Timmy talking to Sean last night about how to play against defenses that are just built to stop him, as has done so far.
I've pretty much seen it all. I've seen 8 guys dropping back on defenses, you know, with 3 men rushing me, and I know not too many people get to see that, but that's pretty much what I face every weekend. You know, it's pretty challenging when you got 4 receivers and pretty much, you know, everybody's double covered out there. So you really got to find them holes, and you know, I think I can take some of that, what I learned, to the next level.
Well, we saw there a receiver slip down. He had 2 out to the left side. He wanted the deeper receiver, and he couldn't get the ball to Jason Rivers because Rivers slipped as he made a cut.
And you heard Timmy talk about looking to the next level, and he's right. When you see as many coverages, whether it's a 3-man rush, an 8-man dropping, whether it's, you know, a pressure defense, and very rarely, because it's tough to get to a quarterback in the gun who takes a 3-step drop from the gun is that deep. And so you try to stay away from that, but you get in those throwing lanes as we continue to express here. And if you do that, you got a chance. But Timmy Chang, seeing all these defenses, has a chance at the next level.
He's got 2nd and 10 here. 2 wides to the left. The wing. And this one out for the running back, Michael Brewster, but a little overthrown. A little bit of pressure from Fresno State. They've done some good things defensively that have just made his task that much harder.
They sure have. And what Dan Brown, the defensive coordinator, is also doing, we've seen him drop 8, rush 3, rush 4, drop 7. There you saw a blitz. They brought a lot of pressure, forced Timmy Chang to throw on the run. The ball probably could have been caught, but a little bit out in front. What they're trying to do, and there's Pat Hill, just to constantly get in something different to see. There's nothing easier for a quarterback than seeing the same defense all the time, because then you get into a rhythm. And Fresno State's not allowing that early in this football game.
Bulldog fans really getting into it, enjoying this defensive effort. This is one of those big plays in a game here. 3rd and 10. And it's broken up. And that was McIntyre getting a hand up on it. So they're doing everything the way they've been coached for this game.
3 times now we've seen it. A lineman or a linebacker rushing, can't get to the quarterback, jump in the air. McIntyre does it here. He realizes he can't get to Chang, so just jump up and make a play. Get your arms in the air, and a little tip like that causes an incompletion, 4th down. You got to punt again, and you're already up 28-0. This is as fundamentally sound as I've seen a team play against Hawaii in a long time on the defensive side of the ball.
Bert Milne standing at his 28-yard line, and Jennings waiting for the punt at the 18 of Fresno State. Kick from Milne. Jennings runs into his own man and made a nice catch. And he's dropped immediately at the 25-yard line and pushed back. 34-yard punt, a flag down.
That's just...
We've had as many flags as we've had incomplete passes or away.
You just can't...
Or missed tackles, by the way.
You can't allow your temper to take over, whether you're winning or losing, right in front of the official. You've got to refrain from letting that get the best of you, because it just... You give an official a chance to call a penalty. Don't give him a chance to miss or make a call. Don't be stupid, and that's exactly what they were.
Personal foul on number 12. Personal foul on number 7. Those tackles lost that. First out.
Fortunately offset, so no harm done, but you just can't do that, Tim.
And so we've got 13:47 to go in the first half, and a 28-0 lead for the Bulldogs of Fresno State.
The new
June Jones wearing the lei, a very pleasant tradition of the Hawaiian culture, and always at home or away. He's wearing that, and sometimes it can make him feel better, and sometimes it doesn't help at all. Not when you're down 28-0.
Yeah, and I'm sure those flowers smell really, really nice, but they smell better when you're winning.
First down from the 25-yard line. Fresno State, Wendell Matheson, running back now. Mendez comes in motion. They give it to Mathis. And Mathis, again, broken tackles, good blocking, and lots of running room, and he's out to the 45.
Well, Tim, what's happened to date? It's been all red jerseys at Fresno State. On defense, slow start for Timmy Chang. Done a nice job of batting balls and not allowing him to stay in rhythm. Throwing balls late down the middle for incompletions. Great job in the secondary by Fresno State. On the other side, Bryson Sumlin's been in the end zone a couple times, pushing himself towards 200 yards on the ground himself early on. And Fresno State has dominated this game, including this, an 89-yard run with some great wiggle and some missed tackles by Hawaii.
Mathis with a 14-yard pickup on that one, a first down, and wide open downfield, Fernandez, and Pinniger has them inside the 15-yard line with the completion to Joe Fernandez. 41-yard pass play. Paul Pinniger hasn't gotten to throw the ball very much as they've been running at will. He's right on the money there.
Pretty efficient, though. When you run the ball as well as Fresno State is, then you just flag a little play action in there, throw the ball down the field. People get a little bit nosy on defense. Nice pitch. Fernandez with the catch. And that's all they want Pinniger to do, is be efficient. When you got a chance and you got to throw when somebody's open, make the pitch, and he did. There you see Fernandez's 30 numbers on the season, 4 touchdowns, 30 catches. Just adds to it with a big play from Pinniger.
Lamar Broadway finally pulled him down, but he was beaten on the play. Mathis, the running back, cuts it back into the middle, gets down near the 6-yard line.
Wendell Mathis near the 6-yard line.
Right here, you're just going to see him, little jump up here, going to get right down the seam. You play action fake a little bit. Yeah, flag it in there. All you need is one step. Right down the slot. Great throw. That's what play action does for you. Slot man's got to have a little bit of a run integrity. He respects the play action. Half a step, boom, done. Get Fernandez behind him, and a nice throw by Pinniger. That's a great job by the offense of drawing it up.
This time they're stacked up. Mathis nowhere to run inside the 5-yard line.
Near the 4.
Bonga and Louis Funga combining to lock up the middle there. 96 and 99 respectively, stopping Mathis. Mathis with 82 yards rushing so far. Bryson Sumlin with 168 and a pair of touchdowns on just 8 carries in the first quarter.
Unbelievable. Average goes up. Fresno State Power football's happy. And Pat Hill told us this is what they wanted to do. And here comes a quick snap again.
This is Mathis, touchdown. Wendell Mathis. On the 4-yard line, Mathis takes it in, and the lead widens to 34-0 Fresno State. And we're early in the second quarter.
I got a suggestion for Hawaii. Get yourself out of the huddle and get yourself ready, because Fresno State keeps quick snap. Yeah, this is way too easy for the Fresno State Bulldogs. It looks like they're playing against a high school team right now on defense. They're absolutely dominating Hawaii's defense physically up front.
Jason Tainer will attempt a point after this lengthy faking the 2-point try. And he's ready to go. 11:51 still to go in the first half. And we talked about their consistency in the red zone in the last 4 games. Well, tonight they're perfect. Major scores each time in 4 tries. Mathis gets this one from 4 yards out.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Jeep. Trail-rated capability. Don't go off-road without it.
Well, we're back here at Fresno State. A lot of happy Bulldogs fans, and they themselves, I'm sure, did not expect a 35-0 lead.
I sure didn't.
Wow. I mean, 11:51 still to go in the first half. It has been all Fresno State. Excellent, well-designed defense against Timmy Chang and his offense, and then just a pitiful performance defensively by this banged-up and weak tackling Hawaii defensive squad that's just been pummeled by the running attack of Fresno State. Let's go down to Stacy on the sideline.
Well, when you hear Timmy Chang talking about the pressures of playing in Hawaii and representing Hawaii with the utmost proud display that he does, look at this article that came today, or actually Wednesday in the USA Today. It's a full 2-page spread all about the customs and prestige of Hawaii and the representation of football players and what it means to play football in the state of Hawaii. It is truly an honor for these guys. A lot of them have decorative artwork on their arms, tattoos of sorts to represent their culture, and it's truly a proud situation for these players when they get to represent Hawaii.
Well, they don't want to have this game seen over there unless they can somehow come up with a miracle turnaround, because this has just been a very difficult start here, as we still have a lot of football to play. We're just into the second quarter, Sean, and a 35-0 lead.
Yeah, Stace, great job with that, because they do take their football serious. We said it's the one game in town there, and it matters to them. And you know what's interesting about it, too? That was the front page of the newspaper, not the sports page. That's USA Today. Very serious stuff in Hawaii.
Yeah, from Pop Warner through high school and so on. So it's a big deal. After all, it's their only major team. Michael Brewster. And football, a focus for so many folks in Hawaii. It's also a tough thing being the face of Hawaii football, Timmy Chang says.
How sure did you feel staying at home?
You know, I knew there was going to be a lot of pressure being homegrown and, you know, playing from the home fans and, you know, being in the key position on the football field. I knew there was going to be pressure, you know, and it's always there. It's there every week, and, you know, there's so many people that are in tune to football, you know, not just on the main, on Oahu, you know, and all the islands. We represent a lot of people, and, you know, they're very proud of us, and I feel bad, you know, when we lose, or I feel like I didn't do a good enough job that I let them down. So, you know, there's a lot of people watching us and counting on us.
Well, he connects to Chad Owens there and has a first down for Hawaii inside Fresno State territory at the 47-yard line, make it the 46.
You see that 16 of their 20 starters are from the Hawaiian Islands. So homegrown talent. You get some special players. I was fortunate enough in college and the NFL to play with a lot of Hawaiian, and I'm telling you, the toughness, and their dedication to doing it right are impeccable. They're completely committed to it, and they do. I'm very, very proud. Timmy takes a lot of it on himself, but for a guy who's thrown for over 15,000 yards, I think he's done his job, hasn't he, Tim?
I'd say so. And they go with Brewster on the run. He finds some running room, and he's close to another first down. Michael Brewster, senior from Houston, Texas. Marlon Briscoe brings him down, number 92, the sophomore, of a flag on the play.
Tim, 73 yards total offense for Hawaii, 32 for Fresno State, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter yet.
No, this is stunning, to say the least.
But a couple scores for Hawaii to get the penalty here.
Little Mike problem down there. It is a first down. Get the penalty marched off against Fresno State.
Another unsportsmanlike conduct call, huh, Tim? Third one of the game now for Fresno State. And while you like your team to be aggressive, there's a difference between being aggressive and being stupid. And that's not what you want to do if you're Fresno State with a 35-0 lead and you're completely dominating the football game. But if Hawaii can score a couple touchdowns here before half, then you get them, they start to creep back in it because they're just a couple plays away from that, Tim.
That's right. And we've got 9:46 still to go, and now they're down at the 20-yard line. Two wide receivers out to the left. Chang, little shovel. That's Brewster. Brewster's got running room down to the 6-yard line. Stopped there by Nate Ray, still going. What a great effort.
When you're that low to the ground, I guess you could stay on your feet, huh?
See whether they give him the forward progress. It looks like they're going to mark it at the 7.
The run and shoot can be a very good screen game. Warren Moon used to execute it great when he was playing in the Houston Oilers and Jim Kelly with the Gamblers. There you see a little screen from Timmy Chang. Gets it to Brewster. Great job of continuing to move his legs and not quit. And that's the effort Hawaii needs on the other side of the ball to try and keep their team in it. Nice job. Gets him inside about the 7-yard line. They need this touchdown desperately.
Brewster just 5'6", but he's 185 pounds, and he's a strong guy. They fake it to him, and Chang in the end zone, incomplete. Tried to keep the ball low against tight coverage. Jason Rivers, the intended receiver, couldn't dig that one off the turf.
Out of rhythm, Tim. He's moving a lot. And one thing in this run and shoot, you do have to move and be able to throw on the run, but you still got to be able to be mechanically sound. Tim was rolling out left, didn't get his feet set properly, and didn't get it working towards the slant route. Throws the ball into the ground. You see 9 of 20 for 57 yards. Very un-Tim Chang-like numbers. Those are more Sean Salisbury numbers, not Timmy Chang numbers.
Come on now, Sean.
All right, I was pretty good when I played flag football.
Play action again, and pressure on Chang. Doesn't want to throw it away, but he has to up the sideline out of bounds. Third down. Try to give everybody in the end zone a chance, but to get loose. But ultimately made a wise decision.
There you see their pressure. Mixing defenses. Dan Brown, the defensive coordinator. Nice job forcing Tim to roll out to his right. Knows he has no play. They're cutting down the field, and that's what Fresno State wants to do. You can let Hawaii go up and down 60 yards, but in the red zone, in the 20, with this 5 wides and no power football, you squeeze the field down and force a lot. I mean, it almost looks like you're playing with 14 defensive guys, Tim. This is 4-down territory when you're down 35-0. Third down here.
Inside handoff, Brewster got a little bit of room and closes down. He gets inside to the 4. That'll bring up 4th down from the 4-yard line.
Absolutely no decision. You have got to go for it. 3 points will do you no good right now. And I know some people will say, well, it's early. You know what? I need a touchdown. I'm down 35-0. And I would imagine, knowing June Jones, especially when you fake a punt when you're backed up,
yeah,
I have a hunch that they're going for it here.
I would say so. If you're going to go for it at your 15-yard line on a fake punt, then you might as well go for it here.
Tell you what, quarterback draws aren't bad in this situation either. Spread out.
What's your play, Sean? Chang can run. They don't like him to be out there a lot running, but he's got great feet, good speed. Let's see what they do. Get to the throw. Got a man open. He does not get in. Chad Owens made the catch, and it's out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. Well, still showing it marked at the 2. I think he did catch the ball inbound.
He did catch it.
Yeah.
They made the tackle. Richard Marshall, number 24 with the tackle. Throw it out here. This is just tremendous football. Now, what Hawaii might want to do is at halftime go in and study Fresno State's tackling, because on defense, they can't tackle me in this football game. And you see Fresno State making every play. Red jerseys running to the football. Marshall with a sensational play down by the goal line. And all you other folks that got to play Hawaii in the years while June Jones is there, you might want to look at this one and take a page out of Fresno State's defense, because they're doing it as good as any team has all year long.
This would be the spot for Hawaii to suddenly find some defensive ability, but instead it's being driven out by Sumlin to the 7-yard line.
It may get to a point, Tim, where they've got to put 8 and 9 people at the line of scrimmage and try to go big at least, and force Pinniger to throw the ball against single coverage on the outside, because it's obvious when you're putting a 7-man front or 8-man front, even 8 guys aren't able to stop what Fresno State's doing inside, and they're doing some 2 tight end offense and just pounding the football.
2 backup linebackers because of injuries in the lineup for Hawaii tonight, and a couple other guys playing with injuries, and they just have not been able to do anything to stop this Fresno running game. Sumlin again gets the first down, and here at Bulldogs Stadium it has been all Fresno State trying to get to win number 6 for the season. They got off to a good start early running the football, and Hawaii has been completely shut down thanks to an excellent defensive scheme by Pat Hill and his staff. 35-0 the score with 7:09 to go, and look at the difference in yardage.
Normally that 102 yards is Hawaii 2 completions.
Right. Yeah, and their receivers are going to be frustrated. I mean, they haven't been getting open. They haven't had the opportunities. They still got to run all those miles on patterns, and they've got nothing to show for it. Timmy Chang has to be the most frustrated of all. But these guys, they've had so much success. They know their offense, and they're not going to quit. But they've just got to get something going, some kind of rhythm to their game.
And what's interesting is that normally in this, we look at conventional offense and say they got to change their offense. Well, you're in a position where you pass all the time at Hawaii anyway, so there's not a whole lot of change except execution that needs to take place.
Third and about a football here for a first down for Fresno State. Give it to Sumlin, and he's out at the line of scrimmage. It looks like he has the first down, however. Bryson Sumlin, 5'10", 200-pound junior from Bakersfield, California. Having himself quite a game, including an 89-yard run. He's got a pair of touchdowns. .650 to go here in this first half of play. Temperature has dropped considerably here.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
I'm soft, though. I've gotten so soft. I mean, playing in Winnipeg and Minnesota, and I can't even handle 50 degrees anymore.
Yeah, but you're a California guy. You see it out of your veins.
Oh.
First down. Sumlin again. I keep thinking about June Jones, and what does he say at halftime? How does he handle his team? He knows what the problems are.
Right.
How do you deal with this situation? I mean, this is just, very difficult to say the least.
Right, and June's not much of a yeller and a screamer, but there are some times when you've got to go in and say enough's enough, where you've got to maybe change the way you approach it. Now, screaming and yelling a lot of times doesn't get done if the players don't want to execute. Players got to make a difference. I think coaching's overrated. I think it's about the players having to find a way to want to make something happen. Scheme and coaching, players are the ones who make a difference, and they need to go in and maybe yell at themselves at halftime to get this thing going.
He's pushed around at the line of scrimmage, and certainly there you've got Matt Fonga at 324 and Louis Funga at 294. That stout part of their line has just got to do a better job at the point of attack, because the linebackers are playing with some freshmen, some guys playing hurt, and once they're past that line of scrimmage, they're just essentially running free.
Yeah, folks, we're not watching the old Nebraska Johnny Rodgers and Greg Pruitt at Oklahoma option. 300 yards almost running the football by this Fresno State team, and it is a physical pound. And what this starts to do is it takes its toll too, because you'll go in at halftime if you're Hawaii's defense, Tim, feeling like you've taken a beating. So they have got to get some spark, make a big play, force a turnover here to get it going, because if it's physical, it favors in a big way. Have a look at that. It favors in a big way Fresno State. 254 yards a game. That's 116th. Hawaii's defense, they've already given up 303. This could be a 500-600-yard night because they're not going to throw the ball in the second half with a 35-0 lead. They're going to continue to run.
Now they've got 7 defenders up along the front. They get 6 and linebackers edging up closer. Mathis is the running back. They go to him, and he finds a little crack in there and then bursts through once he's through that front. He's got another first down out to the 45-yard line. Well, Dale Mathis.
Let's see. You talking about what we'll do at halftime? Can Ray Lewis and Zach Thomas and a couple other players, Roy Williams and Dallas, fly in and help play in the second half of this one? Whew, this is incredible. The guys up front for Fresno State have been absolutely sensational. I know the running backs always get the credit, but the way Mankins and Wendell and Young and Shaq and Denman are playing, they are absolutely pounding Hawaii at the line of scrimmage.
First down at the 45-yard line. Vinegar wants to throw. He's got a man open. And another first down. Fresno State down at the 37-yard line. Joe Fernandez.
Dwayne Wright, this was the starting back. September 11th, 2004 against Kansas State. That is a very, very nasty injury. Ended his season, and I'll sure bet he'd like to be here because he'd be padding some stats. I know upset, and I know that he's trying to get a medical redshirt year. Trying to get a medical redshirt year and come back. This is a good football player. He'd like to feast on some of this tonight. I can promise you.
He's on the sideline, and we certainly hope he gets that opportunity to redshirt and go to full season next year. Vinegar, play action. He's got lots of time. They go to a short man out of the backfield. That's Mathis. And he's got Owens very close to the first down. Let's go to Stacy.
And we're joined now with Dwayne Wright, who injured the leg. How are you feeling? How's it getting better?
Well, I'm feeling well. I've been having a lot of rehab, about three or four times a day. And I work with a lot of trainers during the day, and one is Layla Amadi, and she gets me right like about 2 hours a day when I come home from school, and then I take a shower, come back, get a rehab, and my leg's doing well.
Why is your running game so good?
I think our running game is so good because we have a lot of raw talent at running back position. We have a lot of guys who just hit the hole and just take it all away. Just tough, hard-nosed, aggressive runners. So that's what Coach Pat Hill loves.
You guys struggled at the start of conference play, losing 3 in a row. How did you overcome it?
Well, I think we overcome it by just regrouping and finding ourselves, and that's what we're doing tonight. We just come out playing Bulldog football, and as you can see, we just out here just doing good.
Well, we appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
It's a reminder from Dwayne about the Bulldog football that said at the beginning of the telecast. If you go back to the start of the season, this was a team after they beat Washington, Kansas State, that they were going to be the BCS plus
exactly
team.
Right.
And, you know, then they ran into the conference games and lost 3 in a row. But you're seeing the amount of talent they have and the great coaching that they have. This is still a very good football team.
Outstanding football team. Calling a great game. We talked about on defense, but Frank Signetti, the offensive coordinator.
Mathis is going to walk in. There's a flag downfield. Wendell Mathis came up with the scoring play. Wait for the call.
This is getting too easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. I've never done it before, but it seems like it'd be easy.
Yeah, well, I can't say that I've done it, nor did it ever appeal to me very much.
But it would be easy, wouldn't it, Tim?
It would be. It sounds like a bit of a mismatch of fish in a barrel. Let's see what the call is here. It looks like the touchdown's coming back for a start.
Got holding on the perimeter is what happened. And when you're running the football and get a little outside, the receivers down the field have a tendency, because the side judge and the back judge are right there in front of your face, to grab, and you can't get your hand on the outside part of the body. You can grab and hold, but keep it inside the arms and you'll have a chance. But I don't think Fresno State's overly worried about it because the way they're running this offense, and again, Frank Signetti, the offensive coordinator, calling an unbelievable first half of football.
Mathis touchdown call back. He's got 2 already. This time it's Sumlin. He's going for 3, and he's in the end zone. No signal yet. Yes, there it is. Touchdown. Sumlin. Bryson Sumlin picks up his 3rd score of this first half. He and Wendell Mathis are just having a dream game here. Dwayne Wright on the sideline watching the guys who picked up the slack for him. having themselves a ball tonight. There's got to be a little bit of envy down there in part of Wayne.
No question. And there comes a point in time when you actually got to have a bit of pride about yourself on Hawaii and to say enough's enough, because this is one of those where you don't want to throw a towel and you want to compete, but good gracious, that Hawaii flight might want to leave early. This is a tail whooping by Fresno State right now.
So Mathis with his third touchdown. This one from 12 yards out. Point after is good. And Fresno State with 2:24 still to go.
One more time.
Shutting out the Warriors 42-0.
With a smooth ride, available navigation system, and luxuriously quiet interior.
Get your stars right there, Tim, huh? Love their Bulldogs.
Boy, they are enthusiastic crowds here that enjoy watching this Bulldog team. The enthusiasm is just so genuine. I mean, it's such a big part of this whole area in Fresno. This is their team in every way. Ferguson, not much running room. It's out near the 20-yard line. And the Bulldogs dominating the Warriors of Hawaii here in Fresno, where the temperature is dropping precipitously.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight.
Tackle for Fresno State, 2nd and 10. Timmy Chang with 3 receivers out to the right. 6th release, and that is complete. Chad Owens is grabbed, number 2, the senior from Honolulu.
Not a whole lot going on right now for anything in this passing game or offense, let alone defense. Nothing working for Hawaii. Completion there. I'm not so sure I would line up the rest of the game and no huddle and go and speed this tempo up, try to change the tempo of the game for Hawaii, because their tempo is not working right now.
Owens with 63 catches coming into the game, 7 touchdowns. Pressure on Chang, gets it off, intended for Owens, again incomplete. Pressure on him from Wayne Andrews, the linebacker, number 51.
Another interesting thing, Tim, there's about 25 scouts or so from the National Football League here. They were all over the field in pregame, running all over the place because they get a chance to watch Hawaii come over here to the mainland and see some players. And right now, I'm not sure that the scouts are loving too much of what they're seeing on the Hawaii side of the ball, because there is some good football players on the Hawaii football team. But right now, this is a formal education by Fresno State.
Another punting situation for Hawaii. Milne standing at his 10. Punt by Milne. That's abandoned.
Good hit.
Jennings goes back, and a good open field tackle drags him down at the 27-yard line. A 44-yard punt, a 2-yard return. 1:31 to go in the half. 42-0 Fresno State.
Who knew blood was so
Big and chocolatey with a little birdie. Come on, behave yourself. Focus.
especially
Right now.
You should know what's in this stuff. Feels like
Licorice with
a little piece of heaven between my...
First half, and they are certainly doing that. Did they do that sign during the game, or did they have some absolute great prescience that they indeed were going to be pounding them using the P in ESPN to do so? Those guys probably are enjoying the chill night air. It's dropped considerably here in the last hour.
Well, they gave up 51 points against UTEP to Hawaii and 69 against Boise State, so they've had a propensity to give up a lot of points on defense.
Henniger, incomplete. Henniger's first miss, actually, but he's only thrown 4 passes with that running game going. He's 4 of 5 for 88 yards, but look at the rushing by Sumner. 14 carries, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mathis, 13 carries, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. So Paul Pinniger, as you can see, he's allowed to smile.
Can you believe that? If I told you you were winning, the team was 440-yard offense and winning 42 to zip, as we head towards half, and that they'd thrown 4 times?
No.
Are you kidding me? Man.
Got 3 wideouts out to the right this time. Vinegar from the shotgun. 2nd and 10. Screen.
Sets it up well.
No running room. Matt Rivera, and Rivera still going. Inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. His first offensive play of the game. The junior from Fresno. 45 yards on the screen pass.
Great job on the screen, Penninger. And you've got to be Rivera. Watch him set it up now. You set up blockers. It's an art running screens. Nice job here. Dip outside to set your block up. Get a kick out, and then you finish it. Get a good effort from your receivers down the field. Running screen plays is something that you have to practice, the timing of it. And what a great job by Fresno State, who's in scoring position again.
Play action. Michael Jennings works his way down the sideline to the 2-yard line.
To the 3. And that's another.
Pulled down by Alama Francis. Ikaika Alama Francis getting some time in the defensive front. That's another factor here. You've got to believe that this is an exhausted defensive unit of Hawaii, even though they've only played 1/2 of the game. 1 minute to go. The ball is at the 3-yard line.
Big Logan Mankins, the left tackle, getting out there on that wide receiver screen. He's an NFL guy, maybe playing guard inside, but great job of running down the field and making something happen.
509 yards of offense, and that's touchdown. Adam Jennings, the junior from Granite Bay, California. Henniger to Adam Jennings. We're up to 48 with a point after to come.
Oh, boy.
Henniger finally gets himself a touchdown toss.
He wants to be in the books too, Tim.
72 yards in 4 plays. Tainer with the point after. Well, I've never done a 49-0 game at the half.
Well, I hope you like me, Tim, because I'm honored to be here with you. I'm with the legend, so we're going to talk. We may talk Bob Beatty and Pierman Zurbriggen before this is over.
We can cover a lot of stuff here. A little tennis, a little skiing. Yeah, we can do that. 49-0, 41 seconds to go. They're going to run out of fireworks here in Fresno. They've had the fireworks on the field, and they like to celebrate by shooting out those rockets here with their scores. I don't know if they've got enough supply of that kind of stuff for this battle tonight, John.
And nobody's leaving. 49-0. These fans are still here. They kind of like this, Tim. They like this whipping that Fresno State's putting on them. But it is amazing. You talk about the fireworks. It's a good thing the cheerleaders don't have to do push-ups after every touchdown, huh? They'll be worn out.
Well, you've got to say, again, over and over, this is just a flawless display by Fresno. It's disappointing for Hawaii. They've got a beat-up defense. We knew that. They knew it. Guys hurt, guys out. But Timmy Chang's not had a chance to do anything.
What has Fresno State done wrong in the game? I mean, you look at it, if you go into the first half with Pat Hill, you're saying, guys, what do I say to you other than keep the pressure on? Because this has been a darn near perfect display of football.
Absolutely. Ferguson slips at the 4, squirms his way out to about the 18-yard line. And some little extra pushing and shoving here after the kickoff play, and frustration just all over the place here on the part of the Hawaii team, as we might expect. 33 seconds still to go, and you're looking at a scoreboard that says 49-0.
Now, don't underestimate the fact that Fresno State scored with 33 seconds left either, the way this thing's gone. You want to talk about a nightmare? George Lumpka, the defensive coordinator for Hawaii, is living it. 49-0. You got to go in and face your teammates or your players and say, guys, we got another second half of football to play. Let's try to keep it under 90.
Now here's some running room for Brewster. He's straightened up at the 35-yard line, but he has a first down and a 15-yard pickup. Make it 17 on the carry for Michael Brewster.
By Marcus McCauley.
This is nice to get your offense going. Good job down the field. Trying to make something happen. Brewster taking head on. But there may not be enough time in the game to be running the football when you're down 49-0, has had no success doing anything on offense, has Hawaii.
Inside handoff again for Brewster, and Brewster running hard. Good effort by that guy. He's got another first down.
I think they're content to going at halftime.
Another late flag.
We got a flag
again. 7 seconds on the clock. Brewster, a senior from Houston, Texas. He was a transfer from the University of Tennessee. Little guy, but very strong.
Very explosive when he hits that hole, Tim.
See what this one's about. A little mic challenge down there on referee Frank White.
Personal foul on both teams. They'll offset, be a first down for Hawaii. Between personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct, Fresno State, that's the only thing they've done wrong in the first half. Is that Pat Hill's going to have to say, you know what, be aggressive, but let's not be dumb when we're doing this. And that's the fourth one of unsportsmanlike conduct and or personal foul.
Well, zeros are up, and there's certainly one team that's going to be happy to get to the locker room here to take a break in this slaughter. That's what it is, 49-0 at halftime. Fresno State on top of Hawaii, and that is not a happy head coach. June Jones headed to the Hawaii locker room here at Bulldog Stadium. And let's go down to the field, and Stacy.
Hey, Coach, how have you managed to break Hawaii's offensive rhythm?
Well, when you control the ball like we have, you know, we knew coming into the game the best way to control their offensive rhythm was to dominate the game on offense and keep the ball away from them, and so far we've been able to do that. Sometimes it's not pretty running the ball like that, but I enjoy it against a team that is really good at throwing it like they are. So we've done a very good job in the first half in all phases.
49-point lead. What do you tell your boys at halftime to keep them focused?
Keep playing hard.
Thanks.
All right, Pat Hill, keep playing hard. Well, we're going to take a break here, and when we finish our commercial obligations, we'll be taking you to Reese Davis. All kinds of college football news he'll be talking about on the College Football Halftime Show. That's coming up.
Get the ESPN.
Statistics that just underline what you were saying, Sean. 512 total yards for Fresno State, and all of that rushing, you just put the check mark on the 352 for Sumlin and Mathis. It's a dream come true. For the defensive squad of Hawaii, it's a nightmare.
Yep, and then that third down conversions, Tim. They've been in long yardage a lot. 0 for 7 for Hawaii. And this is just one that we know that Fresno State's not going to come out and throw it. They're going to do what they've been doing, run it. And you're in danger if you don't start tackling of giving up 500-plus yards on the ground alone in this football game. So, like I said, it's gut check. We're going to find out just how much pride those people in Hawaii, those football players in Hawaii have, and what June got across to them at halftime in the locker room.
Well, you know, we talked about the long tradition of youth football, high school football, which is huge in Hawaii. The pride and tradition of these athletes. It's a very physical part of our United States of America. All of their games are outdoor oriented because of the climate and weather and so on. And that's how all of the sports that they play have to do with physical prowess and tremendous strength and conditioning and all of those kinds of things. The Polynesian athletes are so effective at. Now they're in a situation here where they know, yeah, pride. You've got all the pride that you can muster. I'm sure that'll be there. But the fact from what we've seen and the fact that they're number 111 out of 117 defensively of all of the Division I schools, they just don't have enough defensive strength to cope with this Fresno State team.
Tim, you make a great point. Pride's one thing, but pride isn't going to make a whole lot of tackles in the day. I've never met him on that team. While you go into the locker room and say, you know what, we're going to play hard, but playing hard is getting 5 or 6 people on the doggone ball and making sure you start to wrap up and get some things done, because you do not want this to get out of hand any more than it is, because it's as embarrassing as it gets so far.
Well, you would have to think that maybe both coaches are, why don't we just play our second units against each other in the second
2s on 2s, and let's tee it up and play a second half. Let's scratch it to 0, and let's go back down.
There's the kickoff, and it's Ferguson from his end zone, and the little man brings it up, running hard. I'll make it Adam Jennings, I should say, and he gets it out to the 34-yard line. Adam Jennings, and let's go down to Stacy.
Yeah, I got June Jones after the half, and I asked him, what did you tell your team at the half? He said, well, we got to play for pride and we got to play for one another. But I asked him, what if adjustments do you make defensively? And he said, we got a lot of young guys that aren't getting lined up. Sean, you talked about that in the first half. They're not playing with a sense of urgency. They've got to play with a sense of urgency here in the second.
Stacy, that's a great point. Not only you made, that June made, is that these teams, Fresno State's coming up quick snapping them a lot in the first half, and they were not ready. Young players got to learn to get lined up, because you got to not only know who to get, but how to get them, and they haven't done either one right in the first half. You see the first carry there of the second half by Fresno State. Sumlin again, just piling on yards. Is he near 200 now, Timmy? Is he close to it? Real close, isn't he? Above 200, 212, 215, something like that for Sumlin in the first half.
We're going to have it for you right now.
210. There you go.
Yeah, he had that 89-yard run that was a big chunk of it, but basically he's just been running free. 2nd and 5, as has Dell Mathis when he's had the opportunity, and this time it's Matt Funga putting the stop on them behind the line of scrimmage, a loss on the play.
Hey, Tim, you know what's interesting, too? And now let's go to the other side, Pat Hill. You go in with the 49-0 lead. You tell your kids to play hard, as Pat said to Stacy as he went into halftime, but you also don't want to come back out in the second half and win 51-7 or 51-21. Yes, you'll take the win, but you don't want to take your kids with this momentum and then watch tape this week and say, wait a minute, now you quit playing on me because you were up 49-0. So you've got to tell your team to keep playing and not to get lackadaisical, while June Jones has got to tell his team to keep playing and not get too, not chalk it up to be a loss. And I think we got an injury on the field. It might be an official.
It is. One of the officials down.
I think it's the umpire, Tim.
Didn't see him get hit on the play. It was away from the action. And I'll try and get an identification for you. It is the umpire. That's Mike Rhodes. He's the injured official on the play. He's getting some assistance off the field. Make sure that he's okay. Mike Rhodes. Meanwhile, Bryson Sumlin now 214 yards on 16 carries, 3 touchdowns. We've said Sumlin and Mathis playing for the injured Dwayne Wright, who 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, hurt in the second game of the season, and they've just been absolutely excellent filling in for him and both enjoying the opportunity to run through this Hawaii defense in the first half. Now this is Matt Rivera, he's the 3rd string back. Junior from Fresno. Had a couple of plays in the first half.
And that's another.
And he has a first down.
I see, Tim, that to me it starts to border on inexcusable. You're 3rd and 7 as a Hawaii defense. They're not going to throw it on you. They're running the football, and they still get a first down. And it gets to the point, you feel for that man, June Jones, who he doesn't like it any more than we do, but he can't put a uniform on and go out and make a tackle. Somebody's got to. And, you hate, I'm not big on moral victories, Tim, I'm really not. But young players will learn a valuable lesson in this. There's the quick snap again and another 4 or 5 yards.
Sumlin once more.
Near the 47-yard line. Number 55, Watson.
Bryson Sumlin. These running backs are going to be weary when this game is over.
Have a look at
a lot of work.
Yes, you bet. That's the last 10 quarters. 2 games plus this one, Tim. 124-21. There may be no hotter team in America as far as the domination they put on these last 10 quarters of football.
52 points against Rice last week in a 52-21 victory. Sumlin, it's a good tackle. A flag comes down. That was Watson Ho'ohuli, the middle linebacker playing for the injured Ikaika Kernan, who's out with an ankle injury, one of the key players defensively. And in fairness to Hawaii, we've made the point that if you joined us along the way, they've had 5 of their defensive starters in what would be somewhat of an ordinary defensive squad anyway, but 5 of those starters out with injury for at least 1 game.
Main second out.
You mentioned Ho'ohuli, who's in there at middle linebacker, number 55, and talking to Hawaii coach before the game, and mentioning that, you know what, with these injuries, putting people in not real fast, not real big, and so they had a major concern going in. And if you're going to play good run defense, the down people, you're down 3, down 4, have got to do everything they can to keep the lineman, offensive line off your linebackers' legs. And when you're not real fleet of foot anyway as a defense, and now you get this offensive line getting to the linebackers, when you get to the second level as an offensive line, you will dominate the run game.
2nd and 14, Pinniger, play action. Pinniger with a man hanging on him, coughs up an interception. So Hawaii, it's number 30, the defensive end, ranging back. Kamakavivo-Ole, Keila Kamakavivo-Ole comes up with the interception on Pinniger.
See Pinniger hold the ball, don't throw it late like this. That's what you don't want. Unfortunately for Fresno State, it's 49-0, so maybe you can afford a turnover, but you don't want to get into bad habits like that. That's the one thing they talked about, not turning the football over, Fresno State, and they did turn it over in their own zone, but the way they're playing defense, it might not matter.
First turnover by Fresno State, and Timmy Chang gets the offense cranked up, and that is Jason Rivers with a catch from Chang.
And Tim, going back to Pinniger, the one thing that you never want to do is give a team that you're whipping a little bit of hope and think that they can get back into this. And I know you say a 49-0, how they're getting back into it. Well, Hawaii's been known to put some yards on the board as well as points, and that's not Pinniger's strength. Big speed. He's not a big strong arm guy. He's more of an off-speed pitch baseball pitcher, and just to manage it and try to do too much, and he played outside himself, and it cost him an interception.
Yeah, he had that guy hanging around his legs, so there's no way going to have enough traction and ability to get the throw off that he wanted to. Brewster with a good hard run. He has the first down. He's driven back, spotted at the 20-yard line just inside. So Hawaii now with a drive going here early in the second half, down 49-0. Michael Brewster.
Won't hurt my feelings if they score a touchdown, Tim. Will it you?
No. I mean, you got a feel for this team. You can't ignore the fact that they're just getting beat up so badly, but certainly they're allowed a little sympathy here. Brewster now has 73 yards rushing on his 10 carries. First down, 19-yard line. Chang gets it out quickly, and it's dropped. Pass intended for Ross Dickerson, couldn't hold on. Dickerson, the sophomore, wide out. They cannot afford any mistakes, not a drop like that.
And they're making too many, and it's, you know, what happens is you start to lose a little bit of confidence, you start to lose a little bit of focus, and little things like that turn into big things. You're not making the plays necessary, because they not only haven't made any big plays in this game, they haven't made any little ones either for the most part. And it's therein lies the score, 49-0 with 11 to go here in the third quarter.
2nd and 10. Inside handoff for Brewster. Brewster's got a nice little sharp pop through the line. And a reminder that tomorrow morning, Chris, Lee, and Kirk will preview the upcoming day in college football. All the latest news and stories on College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. This week live from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. College Game Day built by the Home Depot every Saturday at 10:30 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Don't miss it tomorrow. Good game there tomorrow night. Our guys will be down there to tell you all about it.
Chris, Lee, and Kirk, there's no better pregame show in the business than that one. And a huge game for that tomorrow night, too, huh?
Sorry, yeah, there's a good one. Chang with some time, and the ball is caught. The hit put on immediately as Nate Ray came up on the receiver. A flag down in the backfield after the play. And it was Dickerson holding on despite a good blast from behind. Officials are playing without their umpire. It was hit earlier at the start of the second half.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, number 64. That's a 15-yard penalty. The result of the play was a first down, so it will be first down.
Samson Satele. We talk about the little things. Plays over, knocking a guy down. I know the frustration. Sampson's got that long hair. He might want to cut it so they get things going here, huh?
Yeah, Jones jerked him right out of there too to make his point about that's not acceptable. Doesn't work for us.
And that's a wise move. You know, you can't let things get out of control. And June Jones understands that, pulls him out. Now going to put him back in. Let him go over there, think about some Gatorade, get him back in a football game. Try to get something going here, but those are the little things that kill a football team, especially when you're down 49-0. You need every yard you can squeeze out of it, and they haven't been able to squeeze any, and there is our umpire.
Yeah, Mike Rhodes.
That does not look good.
A little collar on him there, and he's getting all good attention. And they'll have to go a man short out there the rest of the game, the officiating crew. Down. Chang being pressed, takes it out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Forced out by Garrett McIntyre, the junior from South Lake Tahoe, California. This guy's got some skills.
Can run, extremely athletic. Those guys inside.
Got 6 sacks this season. 34 tackles coming into the game. He was a walk-on. He's just a guy that literally got their attention and became a starter, and a guy that has got the goods.
And still has room to grow. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. You know, he's, like I said, 6 sacks in the junior. He got a chance to still grow in that body, but he's very quick. Something about those walk-ons with that effort they give. Earn themselves scholarships.
Brewster again, inside hand-up, touchdown. Michael Brewster, and finally Hawaii gets on the board. And the little guy at running back, 5'6", 185-pounder from Houston, Texas, with a burst of speed, big hole, and finally the Warriors on the board.
Been their best player tonight. Brewster's done a great job of running. Runs powerful for a little man, gets it in the end zone, and turnover, turn it into points. Hawaii going to get on the board now, trying to get their 7th point. Maybe they can get a little something going here in the second half.
Justin Ayat with the point after. 38-yard score by Brewster.
You don't expect this much from Hawaii. Normally it's through the air, but Michael Brewster gets it into the end zone. No shutout here. Hawaii trying to get back into it. They only got 7 touchdowns to catch.
Looking at Mike Rhodes, the official, the umpire, being taken off the field, getting good attention here. Got caught in some traffic out on the field. We'll try and get a report. Justin Ayat will kick it off for Hawaii. Finally getting onto the scoreboard with an 18-yard touchdown run by Michael Brewster. This is Adam Jennings returning from the 5. Running hard, runs into traffic out at the 23-yard line for Fresno State. Let's go down to Stacy.
I talked with the doctor on the sideline. Mike Rhodes has acute soreness in his back and numbness after getting hit on the backside. He's on his way to the hospital for further assessment, guys.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Stacy. We obviously hope that that's not serious for the umpire, Mike Rhodes. They'll get him to a nearby hospital real quickly, we're sure. Get him checked up. First down at the 24-yard line for Fresno State. Mathis, and they stack him up, and another flag down.
This here is Mike Rhodes right there. It's going to happen after the play. Going to come in and see somebody hit him on accident, obviously, but that's part of the deal. Unfortunately, gets blocked right into the back. Ooh, that's danger there. Said soreness, and got that neck brace on right now, Tim. Hopefully he'll be okay, but he obviously will not return to this football game.
Holding on the offense, number 82, 10 yards from the end of the run, remains first down.
You know, it's interesting, and you never like to see anything like that happen, but we see it, you know, it's surprising it doesn't happen more with the speed of these athletes and how physical and fast they are. And you get the officials who, you know, obviously don't move like these guys do, and they're watching one thing, and you saw there Mike Rhodes watching, all of a sudden somebody comes from behind and gets banged into him. That is not a fun time. Imagine a whole bunch of studs running around you, and you don't get to fight back. But it's an amazing, tough, difficult process. I would not want the job of these officials because they're right most of the time. It's a very dangerous position to be in.
Mathis, nowhere to run there as Hawaii suddenly starting to get a little more going here defensively against the run of Fresno State. Chad Kapanui, he didn't start the game because he's been playing hurt, and C.J. Allen Jones started the game, but he's back out there.
The interesting thing too about these officials is, you know what, they're they're taught to watch a side judge. You know, they're watching holding, and you got the referee who's watching the quarterback and making sure that, you know, some holding, and you got the umpire. So they are taught, so they can't look all the way around. They can't see what's going on. They're watching where they're supposed to watch, and you can't have a feel for 22 guys all the time.
Big hole again for Mathis, and Mathis keeps those feet moving. And gets back near the first down. Looks like he'll be short by about a half a yard.
When you're second about,
made the hit.
Sorry, Tim. I said when you're second about 20, and you can get this. See on the top right-hand side, you and I might be able to get through that. Mathis does. Gets himself a huge gain and puts it in manageable now at 3rd and 1. This has just been unbelievable up front. The running backs are going to get the credit, as well they should, but those big fellas up front make it happen. D'Artagnan Shack right there opening his hole on the right side.
3rd and a yard for Fresno State, up 49-7, 8:03 to go in the 3rd. Mathis has the first down.
Mathis. And that's a Fresno State.
Mathis came into this game with 455 yards rushing, and he's certainly been able to pad that number, as has Bryson Sumlin tonight.
And these aren't season numbers, folks. This is tonight. 18 and 17 rushes apiece. 220, 143 yards. Look at the average. Sumlin averaging over a first down a carry, and Mathis almost, and 5 touchdowns between them. That is, that's teaching somebody how to play football up front.
On the ground with Mathis again, and he has another first down to the 46-yard line of Hawaii.
Tim, you said you've never been in a game at halftime when it was 49-0 in all your great years of broadcasting. You know what? I don't know if I've ever watched a game that there's been this many missed tackles. It looks like you're dealing with the varsity against the freshmen here. Nice job just running through. People aren't wrapping up, hitting too high. These guys are too physical and too good to be trying to tackle them around the doggone shoulder pad. You've got to hit them and drive through them. And it's the difference on the other side, because Fresno State defense has been hammering them on the defensive side and have tackled everything. Another big game by Mathis.
That's an example there of just absolutely no stuffing at the point of attack. I mean, he's reaching the line of scrimmage, and he's just got openings everywhere to keep going down upfield without any resistance.
I'd be interested to see how many yards they had after first contact, too, because the first guy that hits them, not bringing them down, they're making things happen. And when you play high and you don't have your pad level low, you're going to get pushed around, especially when you're playing against an offensive line that's physical anyway. You've got to find a way to get underneath their pads, and Fresno State quit counts like crazy and is pounding them offensively.
408 yards of rushing for that last play and 41 carries by Fresno State. Tomorrow, 19 days of primetime football on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC continue with day 17. You keep them count. Tomorrow night, an Alabama Crimson Tide team. They've only lost once in Baton Rouge since 1970. They take on the number 15 LSU Tigers there. College football Saturday primetime, 7:45 Eastern. Alabama LSU also available on ESPN HD. Call your local cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network today. Indiger wants to throw. He's got time. He's got a man open. Rivera slips out of the backfield. First down, still driving over the 20-yard line.
Good pocket presence by Pinniger. Nice job. That's what they want him to do. We saw him do that last series, but he threw the ball down the field and got intercepted, what led to Hawaii's first touchdown. This one, stay in there. It's not there. Dump it off. Let Rivera do the work. That's why he's back there. That's why he's getting that scholarship money. Stick him there, let him run, throw it to him. Your third back, getting yards, moving the chains again. Another first down. Very good presence by Pinniger.
Quick count. Rivera tries off tackle right. He's tackled from behind, but not before getting close to 5. Kaika Alama Francis made the tackle.
Alama Francis, number 91.
Pickup of about 4 for Rivera. He comes out. Wendell Mathis comes back in. Down to the 16-yard line. Fairman goes out wide to the right for the Bulldogs. And motion tight end Reed. Vinegar. That one is deflected at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Matt Funga got a hand up on it, number 96, senior from Honolulu, 324-pounder.
Shoot, even M&M away from 350, you know that.
That's right.
You ever notice on heights, everybody wants to be taller, and on weights, everybody wants to be skinnier?
That's right.
Unless you're the 160-pound defensive back or kick returner. 325. Come on now. Great job by him, though. Getting in the throwing lane, getting his hands up.
Mathis again. And they shut him down.
If you're Mathis and Sumlin over there, you're saying, Coach, let me carry this one. I want more yards. Let me get my 300.
Well, I don't think either Sumlin or Mathis have got anything to complain about tonight.
You're right.
This is a clean game for running backs. And they've been almost equal number of carries. In the last game, I think they were 1 carry apart. So they'll be on each other at the end of the game, complaining about one guy getting a couple of more carries. 4th down, they're going to go for it here. 4th and 3. Inside handoff. And that is Rivera, and he's got the first down to the 5-yard line.
That's just effort, Tim. That's one of those guys who wants it more. You want his Hawaii players want it more, Fresno State. That's Rivera, your 3rd back, coming in the game, getting hit at the line of scrimmage, and just leg drive. And the fact that he wants a first down because he wants to get his name in the touchdown books too, pushes it down to the 5-yard line, and another first down. 4th down and 3 or 4, and Rivera gets it in there. Nice run. 2 receptions, 60 yards, and that was one of his 4 carries. He's got 19 yards. Doing a great job, a little bit versatile for this football team. Nice change-up pitch for Pat Hill's offense.
14th play of this drive. Mathis, he's stacked up by the middle of that Hawaii line that surges up here. And you can see the fire still burning in Matt Funga's belly there. He's got a long night for Funga and Funga. 2 tackles. 3:30 to go. 6 minutes off the clock on this drive, a little over 6 minutes.
Whoa. That's 611 yards. That's not a 2-game total. That's tonight. And Fresno State, when you watch the tape of this game, if you're Hawaii and you get back home, this might be one that June says, you know what, guys, we're not going to watch it. You know what kind of whipping it was. I don't need to show this to you again. You felt it enough on Friday night in Fresno.
2nd and goal from the 3. Mathis, and they get a piece of him. He digs his way. He's a tough guy. Took the hit from Timo Paipule, and then just kept leg driving and picked up a couple of yards, but not to the end zone as yet.
What June and Pat Hill, both head coaches, have done for these programs is pretty impressive. They got new facilities coming in here at Fresno State. Their meeting room. Pat goes out there in this football raising money to get people involved. You talk about the support system here in the Central Valley in California and Hawaii. June has done an unbelievable job of getting, they're going to go out to New Zealand and try to get football players. They've been to Samoa. He's going out there and finding people everywhere. He takes basketball players and turns them into football players. June's done an awesome job, and there's the touchdown for Mathis. I believe that's his 3rd of the night. So they've split 6 touchdowns between Sumlin and Mathis, Tim.
They got enough fireworks to keep this thing going. They go to 55 on the board. And more of the Rockets' red glare here at Bulldog Stadium.
I think they might have had to go buy some more fireworks at halftime.
Well, they got, see, that lady got the pom-pom happening here, and it's just a tremendous display by Fresno State tonight with the fundamental kind of football that Pat Hill has his team playing. Both sides of the ball. Going after is good. 75 yards, 15 plays for the score. Taking 7:47 mercifully off the clock for the Warriors of Hawaii. 2:13 to go in the 3rd.
I'll reach you by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution. And ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP.
Tim Ryan, Sean Salisbury upstairs here, where we've been watching just an absolute rout by a very talented football team playing nearly flawless football, 56-7. He used up 7:47 off the clock in that beautifully executed drive, 75 yards in 15 plays. And Hawaii continues to just not be able to handle this Fresno State offense physically at all. Ferguson, good effort to get it out to the 24-yard line with a 20-yard return. And Fresno State's going to bring in a backup quarterback when we return to Bulldog Stadium with that 56-7 lead. And this guy's just seen too many points scored.
I feel you, dog. Oh, it's getting heavy out here.
6-7. There's a big hit by Nate Ray on Jason Rivers.
Jason Rivers.
Him up. Holding the gain to about 5.
There'll be a lot of smiles on Fresno State's face. This is where you have fun, where you cut it loose and get some guys in who haven't played much, get some valuable experience, and play hard. I mean, this is, you have a good time when you get to knock people around a little bit and you're winning by 7 touchdowns.
2nd and 4. Timmy Chang and company. 3 wides out to the right. He's down to the 32nd line, and no running room there for Brewster. He's met by Claude Sanders. Let's go down to Stacey Dale Schumann.
Guys, we're joined by recently retired boxer Jennifer Alcorn. Jennifer, brief us on your career.
I am the 3-time undefeated lightweight world champion. That was 18 wins, no losses, 11 knockouts, 9 in the first round.
She said it, guys. How'd you get to meet Pat Hill?
I met Pat actually backstage at one of my fights. I was on a Butterbean undercard, and we had a mutual respect for our never quit, fight to the end, drop him to the ground mentality.
I understand he worked your corner once?
Actually, he worked 2 of my title fights. Who better to have in your corner 9-10 rounds than Pat Hill? And I can't tell you what he told me in the corner, but I'm sure it was probably a little bit rougher than he told the boys there because I'm a little bit older.
What are you doing now with yourself?
I'm doing a lot of personal training. I head up a boxing program here at Gold's Gym in Fresno, but I also work in the strength and conditioning room with some of the athletes, including the women's basketball team. Actually did some hand speed and foot speed coordination drills with the players out there. Adam Jennings, you've been seeing him, those fast feet and hands all night. I've worked mitts with him, and so he's a great player.
We appreciate you joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Go Dogs.
Too bad she's a Bulldog fan. She ought to be in uniform for Hawaii about now. Right?
I was just going to say, she might maybe will turn the tide for the Hawaii Warriors. She thinks she's a little intense? Good for her.
Look at this.
House.
This is Smith. One man to beat. And he trips him up just enough. Clifton Smith. An outstanding punt returner, 45-yard punt, but a 61-yard return.
Tim, what's interesting, we talk about Fresno State special teams as well. We should. Their coverage, their ability to block. How about the return here? You got to make the first man miss. Looks like untouched for the 61 yards until he gets tackled. That's just a great job by the return team, setting up their blocks, no penalty. Not quite enough to get in. He tripped over that white line on the field. You know what we're talking, we've seen these running backs, Mathis, get all these carries, get in the end zone. Can we please give the ball to a fullback?
Right.
Let him get into the stat book.
Yeah, exactly. Victor and Jones have not even had a sniff here offensively. Sean Vircher and Jamal Jones, they've got their second string quarterback in, Jordan Christensen, a sophomore from Fresno, local boy. And that's Robbie Dubois. He's the third string fullback. So the other 2 guys didn't get a look, but Robbie Dubois gets a carry, the sophomore from Mission Viejo.
Jordan Christensen, they like him. Guy's got some game. They're giving Pinniger a rest. There's Pat Hill, huh?
And zeros are up here at the end of the third, and Pat Hill with that long drive took 7+ minutes off the clock, and so he has a 56.
We got some girls getting to stepping.
Boy, I tell you, when it's 56-7, you can have plenty of fun. Just enjoy watching your team winning so easily. And that is Robbie Dubois again, the sophomore, getting down to the 1-yard line as that 61-yard punt return by Clifton Smith, setting up the Bulldogs for another scoring opportunity.
I think that Pat Hill hurt us because Dubois is a fullback. And if he'll let him cap this drive off, Dubois could get in the end zone and the fullback can finally score.
Yeah, but now he'll have to answer to the two guys ahead of him, Jones and Virtue. They say, well, we got a whole quarter. Maybe we'll get a carry yet. This is Dubois, and he is in for the touchdown. Robbie Dubois.
But unfortunately, he was lining up at the tailback position, so he can't even call it a fullback carry.
That's right. Yeah, in fact, he had Rivera ahead of him, putting the block in there. 62-7. We crossed the 60 mark. The Bulldogs of Fresno State. Some of these fans have left to beating the traffic. Usually you do that when you're down 30 or 40 points. Here, they're up so many, they figure they get a jump on the traffic out of Bulldog Stadium. Might have something to do with the fact that it's cooled off so noticeably here this evening and over the course of the game as well. And after was good, and we have a 63-7 game, and all was set up by a 61-yard punt return by Clifton Smith.
I consider myself smart.
In the know.
Practical.
Practical.
So when I want.
Robbie Dubois, number 33 there, got his touchdown. Third string fullback. Makes it 63-7. Bulldogs over the Warriors. 14:29 to go in the game. Ferguson from the 9-yard line. And he is dropped immediately as he started to turn it upfield. And it was Ledger, number 80, making the tackle. Just a 4-yard return.
Timmy Chang, 14 of 29, 86 yards. There's not many times in this young man's career that he's thrown for less than 100 yards.
His entire career.
Yeah, he's had a sensational career, and please don't let this deter folks from this young man's record-breaking career. He's been sensational, just having a tough night. Let's give credit to the guys in the red. They've played as good a defense as I've seen anybody ever play against the run and shoot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is Brewster. Brewster getting a carry. He's given them a good effort. He's been a solid performer.
Yep. And Chang won't be a first-round pick. You know, with all those yards, I mean, statistically, he won't be. But he's going to get a chance because June Jones, who played quarterback in the NFL, believes that this guy can play because he can do some things outside the run and shoot in a conventional type offense. And I think he can too, because I like the kid. He's seen a lot of defenses in his career.
Across the 100-yard mark, rushing 1 yards. Jason Rivers. You know, when they're on national television, it means a lot. It means a lot to the University of Hawaii.
Yep.
And it means a lot to the conference. It certainly means a lot to Timmy Chang. He talks about it in his interview with you. And so it is a shame that people, maybe they've heard about him, they've seen a still shot in the magazine, they haven't seen him play. And they haven't seen the real Timmy Chang here tonight. And it's not so much, he's having an off night, yes, but I mean, he's been totally stifled.
Yes, he has.
No opportunity to show his stuff.
Well, it's interesting, Tim. Special teams, Fresno State's dominated. Offense, they've been physical. They've kept the ball most of the night. And on defense, you see that they haven't given Timmy any breathing room. Very few of his throws have come out like that one on time. And ball comes out on time, you get a completion. So the people at home that don't have an opportunity to see Timmy Chang enough, believe me, there's a reason why he's thrown for 15,000 plus yards, because this is a good football player.
Chad Owens making that catch.
Nice job, little half roll, run and shoot.
Nice
Sticks
catch.
it in the seam, very nice, in between two players. Concentration on the football, maybe a little too late, but Timmy Chang struggled, but there'll be more. He'll come back and get his, got a couple more games to go this season. What, 2 more after this, I think? Is that right, or 3 more?
In Hawaii,
That's
Northwestern
right.
and Michigan State.
Both of them
and
in
Idaho,
Hawaii.
actually, Idaho first. And that's complete out the left side to Welch, Gerald Welch. 23 catches coming into the game. 12:29 remaining in the game. Fresno, they got off to a quick 14-0 lead, have never looked back. They've been flawless on both sides of the ball. 63-7. Tremendous running game against a weak Hawaii defense that's just absolutely been pummeled from the get-go. And that's why Timmy Chang and the offense has had very little opportunity to do anything offensively. A great scheme by Pat Hill and his staff. Absolutely ready, and they've done everything as they were taught to do. And that is picked up. A little sailor, and it was Nate Ray
He lays it on the ground for a fumble. Should be Hawaii's ball back.
And it is Hawaii's ball back, and so finally they catch a little break at least.
I think that makes what for Tim Chang, 76 interceptions in his career. But you know, people say 76 interceptions. He's thrown almost what 2,500 times.
Right.
There you see safety just sitting down, high throw, gets the interception. But a great job and a hit, forces the fumble. You think you want to play tackle football? Hello.
That was an offensive player made the hit.
Yeah.
That was Jason Rivers.
That's a wide receiver.
They might put him over on the defense the next series.
Best tackle of the night for Hawaii.
First down at their 41-yard line. Chang quickly out. That's Rivers again coming in. Check it. That's Dickerson, number 82. A sophomore from Waipahu. And a pickup of about 9 on the play.
You know, Tim, getting back to Timmy Chang, this is a guy who has thrown about a little over 3 interceptions per 100 passes in his career, and in a run and shoot that's going to happen. But this year it's even gone down. He's thrown about 1 interception every 47 attempts. So, you know what, considering all that can go wrong when you throw the football, he's been pretty doggone successful. So while he holds the all-time record in interceptions now with 76, I'm not so sure that that's a terrible number considering the number of times he's thrown.
Only 8 this year coming into the game. That was the 9th we just saw. That's complete to Dickerson. He couldn't keep himself in bounds. And when you throw the ball as much as Timmy does, as you said, you're going to have some interceptions. And he talked to our Sean about how he deals with it.
What record will we talk about more? Interceptions, all-time passing yardage?
Well, I hope it's the all-time passing yards. But in the system like ours, you know, we throw the ball so many times, and you know, sometimes it's inevitable. You know, bad fortune, you know, comes and you know, you get hit, the ball's tipped, you know, timing's off, you know, it goes the other way, and you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, hopefully it's the passing yards.
How many attempts have you had in your college career?
Wow, on the field or in the practice field?
I'm talking about game. Do you know how many attempts it took you to break the interception record and the all-time yardage record? Do you have any idea?
I think it was somewhere around 2,000 something.
And how many interceptions have you thrown?
75, 4.
That's a pretty good ratio, isn't it? I mean, when you really break it down, shouldn't you throw 70, 80 interceptions when you throw 2,000 times?
I like to be perfect myself, you know. I don't like to throw them interceptions. They really get to me, you know. Even on third down and forever situations, and coach says, you know, I want to take a shot and I want to chuck one over there. You know, you really don't want to give the ball up, and you know, sometimes it's in a situation where they're backing off deep and you chuck one, and you know, it's like a punt. It's falling to their hands, but you know, it really bothers me when I throw one, and I just want to try to stay perfect out there.
Have a look. Now, this is why Timmy Chang, why I believe, and June Jones, his coach, as you see him there at the top of the screen, believes that he can play at the next level. Great escapability, nice job of keeping your head up the field. Little soft touch. Dump it, know where you're going to it. Brewster with the catch. Timmy Chang keeps on competing. An unbelievable career at the University of Hawaii. Feel for the guy who's got to fill his shoes when Timmy Chang leaves.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. They got a first down. They're in Fresno State territory at the 27-yard line. He gets some time and overthrows that one badly. Intended for Chad Owens. Again, the way the game has gone, he and his receivers have had no chance to get any kind of a rhythm going because of this fine Fresno State defensive performance today. And you've got to believe also that the wideouts, they've been running miles, and they're probably starting to flag a little here. And they haven't had much reward because they just haven't had opportunities to catch the ball.
Not a lot of big plays, if any, in the passing game for Hawaii tonight. And that's what they're based on. I can't tell folks how good Fresno State's been. I can't emphasize it enough on defense because this is a very difficult offense to stop an entire game. It really is.
Jason Rivers, and gets down to about the 18-yard line.
Remember last meeting? This was last year, Fresno State and Hawaii. Timmy Chang had his way. Hawaii went off, throwing the ball all over the lot, scoring points, 55 of them to 28. The passing game was working. They were rhythmic. Things were going. 353, 5 touchdowns. He set career high in TDs. And that's become a normal occurrence for Timmy Chang looking at the yards. But it's amazing how good Fresno's tackled and defended passing lanes tonight and made plays, because it is not easy to defend this when you got 4 or 5 guys running all over the field.
Bulldogs have certainly gotten their revenge here tonight for that 55 points on the board at Hawaii last year. That pass is complete to Chad Owens. He's driven back, having already made the first down to the 15-yard line.
James Sanders on that tackle. The corners have done an exceptional job, and safeties in this football game, that when there is a completion, you're not getting any extra yards. The old rack yards, run after catch, they're not getting any. You call them yak yards too, yards after catch, whatever you like, but they are tackling Fresno State. This is highlight film material, how to play the secondary for this team in the red.
Timmy Chang, he's got a man open there at the sideline. Brought back in by Cormine. Gets to the 5-yard line, may have another first down. Britton Cormine, the senior from Honolulu, 35 catches coming into the game. Chang sneaks over to the sideline to get instructions from June Jones.
Tim, go back. See, we had Boise State in the Hawaii game. You and I didn't, but on ESPN.
Right.
Final score of that one for Hawaii, 69-3 at Boise State.
Yep.
This game, 63-7. When you've given up, what, 130 plus points on defense in 2 games, hasn't been kind to them.
2nd and goal. Chang to the corner, touchdown. Nice little comeback by Jason Rivers. The ball on the outside to the sideline, and Jason Rivers, good adjustment. And they're on the board with their 2nd score of the game.
Nice job there with the, we like to call it, you just throw it at the back shoulder. You know, the corner's overplaying you on a little fade route, and you just throw it at the back shoulder. That is a planned play. You underthrow it so the receiver, who knows where the ball is going to be, can come back and get it. Nice job by Chang, putting it on the back shoulder. Little throw off that back shoulder, and it's very tough to defend that when the ball's thrown on time.
Justin Ayat for the point after, and it's 63-14 with 9:01 to go. Fresno State continues to lead, but the Warriors come back with a couple here in the 4th.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Suzuki. More and more people are making the smart move to Suzuki. And Singular. Text the word player to 64444 to vote for the Singular College Player of the Week.
Well, Timmy Chang now a 1 touchdown pass away from a career 100 touchdown passes. That was his 99th, connecting with Jason Rivers 5 yards out to make it 63-14. This is Chico Mackey out to the 25-yard line. 20-yard return. We've said earlier that this team, Fresno State, was thought to be perhaps the BCS buster when the season began. Then they run into their problems. Here's how things are at the moment with the top 5.
This team right here, oh, sorry, that just happens to be my alma mater, the Trojans. Clearly the best team in America. And many think that this team right here with a victory over Georgia and running the table at the end is going to leapfrog Oklahoma. I don't know about that. I just know that Stacy's a little nervous that her Sooners may not take on my Trojans at the Orange Bowl.
She should be after that that A&M game. Now, what about a California USC title game? I mean, you would love that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so would all the Pac-10ers. But you know what's interesting? Let's just say a team like if USC runs a table and Auburn and Oklahoma lose and Cal runs a table, you could actually see
all things.
An all Pac-10. Or I don't think that's going to happen. I think Oklahoma and Auburn, I think, can both win out. It is a matter how the voters feel about if Auburn can leapfrog Oklahoma. But I'll tell you, there's a team in there that I think is getting dogged out on this. I think Urban Meyer's job at the University of Utah has been absolutely sensational. They've taken on all comers and they beat them, and they can beat some teams in front of them on that list. They're struggling to get to that BCS thing. They win and they still follow. I mean, they still fall. So, you know what? The little guys don't get as much love as maybe they should. That's why
I'm in favor of a college playoff.
Well, you've got a lot of company, but obviously the college presidents don't feel the same way for their good reasons, I'm sure.
Yep.
But I agree with you about Utah. I got to cover them last week, and they're an outstanding football team. They're better than most people think. And, of course, it's easy to say, well, they don't play in the big conferences, so how do we really know their schedule isn't strong, blah, blah. But the only way we ever settle that, obviously, is if they get to play the big boys, and they've had some success playing the big guys.
There you have it. Now, Texas, and there's Utah sitting at 7 and Boise State at 10. How good have they been? And we talked to, Pat Hill yesterday, and he said he roots for Utah and Boise State because he wants everybody to take notice that you're talking about two of these so-called little guys that are playing big with the big people. And I love what we see there. And there's 5 more good football teams. And he also said one thing in the front 5 that they have in common, for the most part, is quarterback play. He said quarterback play in college football is so important, whether it's Leinart, Jason White, Jason Campbell, you have Aaron Rodgers at Cal. I mean, you're talking about the top 5 all have quarterbacks that can get it done. This has been a fun season. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it stacks up in that national title game and where Utah and Boise State end up in this season. 2 really good football teams in the second half of that top 10, Tim. That the big boys at times don't want to play for that obvious reason.
Found a flaw in the Fresno State performance tonight. Mike Lingua with his first punt. I guess he was so cold, he only hit it 18 yards. 6:38 to go. Hawaii ball at the 41-yard line of Fresno State. Down 63-14. Inside handoff. That is Latuselu, the running back. And a chance to remind you, coming up after the game at Sports Center, top stories tonight include Ron Artest returns. Auburn goes for a dozen. Quincy Carty ready for takeoff. And the one I'd be most interested in, frankly, is the Ron Artest story. How do you get to have 2 professions at the same time, one of which somebody else is paying you for? The other one is your kind of hobby profession, but you take time off for your hobby. How does that work?
I'm hoping that this weekend, when I have to do Sports Center, I'm going to ask the boss if I can have a couple days off to go golf. That's my hobby.
I tell you, we're in a wacky world.
Ride my Harley Davidson motorcycle.
We're in a wack conference here at the moment.
Boy, are we?
Jason
are
Rivers.
We ever?
Yeah, I mean, I got to say he's got gall.
Yes, yes, he does. It's fortunate he's a good player. He wouldn't be able to get away with any of it. But we don't have a double standard in this world at all. You looked at that on that promo, Timmy. You talked about Quincy Carter. The Jets, who have played really good football, lose Chad Pennington for 2 to 4 weeks. But a good pickup from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
When they let him go, Quincy Carter, who started 16 games, see if he can hold it down as the Jets continue to try and keep in this playoff picture.
That's going to be interesting. Great opportunity for him, obviously, and obviously Pennington did a job. Oh, Chang fumbles the ball, and Fresno has it. Chang tried to pick it up and make a play. Marlon Briscoe comes up with it, and it's just been that kind of a night. Both ways, because anytime you say that, well, Hawaii's not playing well, this is all about Fresno State just playing absolutely superb football.
No question. And the truth is, when you look at that fumble there, Timmy Chang leaving it on the ground. If it was close, he probably would have fallen on it, but he's trying to make a play.
Yep.
You do that, you're down 63-14, 5 minutes left.
Hey, we want to thank those folks for reminding viewers to stay tuned for Sports Center. That's next. I swear that Sean did not go down there and paint that poster. They did it on their own. It's first down at the 45-yard line for the Bulldogs. Fumble by Chang, giving Fresno State the ball. Jordan Christensen continues at quarterback.
Tim, I couldn't even draw a stick, man, let alone draw a sign. Are you kidding me?
That was Nathan Adams getting the carry. And let's go down to Stacy, talk about Logan Mankins.
Yeah, Logan Mankins is a good start. He's a great guy. I had a chance to talk with him. He's going to play in the NFL pretty soon. He comes from a small town called Cathy's Valley, not far from here. He grew up on a cattle ranch, guys. Very interesting. He would help his dad with the cows, vaccinations, bringing in the hay, building fences. And he actually became a roper with his dad. They would go every weekend to roping competitions. They did really well, but I guess you could say his dad lost his best roping partner, guys. And I got to wonder, how did the horse survive Logan?
He's bigger than a horse. Tim, he's a very, very good tackle, but he's probably even more suited at 6'4", 320 because he can move to play guard, get out on the edges. He played both, nice versatility. He will be playing on Sundays, and so he used to be been punching that doggy, huh? No roping cattle and running around. Good for him.
Well, I hope he's given up the riding. It's hard to find a horse that can carry 320 around on. Hopefully that was when he was younger and slimmer and smaller.
He's no Shetland pony himself.
That's for sure. That's Rivera. Matt Rivera, the junior from Fresno, making his hometown fans happy here. He's played well with his opportunities tonight.
Sure has.
5'9", 193-pounder. First down at the 41.
It's supposed to be a big man's game, isn't it, Tim? But you still get guys with great heart and decide they want to get something done. And Rivera doing a good job, as you mentioned, in front of his home people here. Been an unbelievable effort by the guys in red running the football. Haven't had to throw it much, haven't needed to. That's total yards in this football game, 641. Some teams wish they could get that in 2 weeks.
It's the beauty of college football too, that you've got all of the so-called mid-majors and so on, all the way down to Division III, where players that aren't the huge guys that are going to get recruited by the big schools get a chance to play there. Every bit is skilled. It's just they lack that same size that's again. There's Rivera. Look at how strong and talented and pretty, good feet. I mean, he's got all the skills. He just doesn't happen to be a huge guy.
Runs hard, though. You mentioned we got Sports Center coming up after this game with Steve Berthium and Neil Everett. Neil Everett, a Hawaii guy. I want him to defend himself. And I just don't think we should roll any highlights. Just keep those two guys on camera, and we just might have the best Sports Center ever.
I want to know if they've got Ron Artest in a live interview to talk about his music.
Good luck. I think we just have Neil and Bert sing. Why not?
There's a big hole here for, is that Dubois? Robbie Dubois.
I think it's been amazing that the Fresno State Bulldogs have been able to keep Pat Hill here. I know Arizona last year before Stoops took the job have wanted to talk to this guy, as a lot of teams have. Have a look at his BCS record the last 15 games against BCS teams. He's 9-6. 31 games versus WAC at home. He's 27-4. And there you see the 5 straight bowl games. And this win tonight, Tim, I guess makes them bowl eligible again. And they'll get to another bowl if they continue to play like this tonight.
Ooh, boy.
But Pat Hill has been absolutely, he's signed through 2008. He loves it. He feels a part of this program because of the new facilities. He's helped build it into a powerhouse. And 9 wins nowadays has become commonplace at Fresno State since Pat Hill's got here.
They've got Nevada and San Jose State left. One at home, Nevada, and then they go to San Jose State. So obviously, great opportunity for them.
He was talking about that staff. He was on that staff when it was funny saying, well, we didn't know how to, everybody said we didn't know how to coach when Belichick was a coach in Cleveland. He was there. I mean, they were unbelievable with some of the guys on that staff. Kirk Ferentz. I mean, a lot of people that, Al Groh was there, who's the head coach at Virginia now. I mean, there's guys that are all over this country that are head coaches and are doing a great job on that Cleveland team. And he says now, Bill's a genius. And it's amazing when you have players that you become a genius.
That's right.
And Bill Belichick has done an unbelievable job, who was the head coach at Cleveland, did his things right in New England. He got them 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And you see there, Pat Hill does not lose to bad football teams. Only 3 teams with losing records in his 8 seasons. He's lost.
There's a burst and a touchdown. That is Matt Rivera. He just had an open lane to the end zone. So the Fresno guy comes up with the score, Matt Rivera. And a chance to get to 70 here with the extra point.
It almost looked as if Pat was mad that they scored a touchdown, like, oh, man, somebody please tackle my guys so we don't have to keep doing this.
The clock keeps going, right? 2:50 still to play.
See, anybody out there who thinks that they're running it up, they're not. Because if you took a knee with 2:50 to go, then it's almost as if you're trying to embarrass the other team more. You hand it off to your 3rd string back, and he runs for a touchdown.
And a point after kick by Clint Stitzer. A chance to get a kick in. And
life's good when things are going well.
Yeah.
So we're trying to kill the clock, right, Tim? So what do? We run it inside. We give it to Rivera. There's 8 men at the line of scrimmage. Runs through one, runs through a second one, and then gets into the secondary, and there's nobody there because they were blitzing at the line of scrimmage. Rivera gets it in. They're to 70 now. Total offense, 682 yards for Fresno State. See, if this was the NFL, the coach would give him 3 days off.
I want to remind you, tomorrow morning, Chris, Lee, and Kirk will preview the upcoming day in college football and have all the latest news and all the stories on College Game Day built by the Home Depot. This week, they are live from Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. Big game there tomorrow night. College Game Day built by the Home Depot every Saturday at 10:30 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Tim, we talk about the records. You know, Timmy Chang and his records. Well, tonight, Fresno State over 500 yards rushing gives them a school record on the ground, and they keep piling them on. Hey, who do you think the Georgia and Auburn game, what kind of hats Lee Corso going to wear? Who do you think he picks, Tim?
I don't know. I know he's a hat guy, but I'm not a hat guy, so I'm not sure. I'm going to defer to you as to what do you think he's.
I'm going to go out and say that Lee takes Auburn to beat Georgia. That's my prediction. I mean, Lee's been a big predictor. I'm going to say that he'll take. I'm going to say Fowler and Herbstreit will choose one team, and that Lee will choose different.
Oh, you mean just to choose different? Yeah.
Well, what a great studio, what a great pregame show that is. That's as good as it gets. Not only are they fun, they're informative, and that threesome does it as good as anybody does. That's a great show. So if you want to get all your information, tune in to Kirk and Lee and Chris tomorrow.
I live in the Mountain Time Zone. It means if I watch them, I got to get up earlier than I'd really like to, but I do.
TiVo, baby.
And tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time, I got to get up and watch Boise State because they're a fun, entertaining team to watch as well.
Ranked 10th right now in the BCS, right?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
They're good.
Yep.
They are good, and they're fun to watch. They're like Utah, and they play a wide-open game. They got a lot of good, skilled players. They play hard. Dan Hawkins done a great job. They're another one of the good rising young coaches.
Think about some of those young coaches around this country, where they're going to end up with Florida job and the University of Jeff Tedford's been mentioned at the University of Washington, done a great job at Cal. You talk about Urban Meyer at Utah, Dan Hawkins at Boise State, Bobby Petrino at Louisville. I mean, these guys have done an unbelievable job with their programs to get them rolling and put them in great position. And that's a nice hit.
Well, they've got their backup quarterback in there, Kainoa Akina, a junior from Tucson, Arizona, transferred over from Eastern Michigan, backing up Timmy Chang, getting his time here at the end of the game. First sack into the
70 points, and you got 1 sack on the night. Wow, there you see pointing, directing traffic. That hurts.
And that was Klutz, Tyler Klutz.
Timmy Chang saying, you know what? I got out 1 play early. Thank goodness. I don't need that. That's for the young fella. But that kid right there, number 14, Timmy Chang, will come out of this positive, try to look forward to a next couple games and get this going. That's not a typical night for him. But you know what? Positive kid, and there's better days ahead for him and for the University of Hawaii.
Hawaii plays Idaho next week, and then they finish up Northwestern, Michigan State, all the games at home. Caps on for him to get over this one, and just think about next week. Idaho, not the caliber of Fresno State, of course, and they'll be back at home where they're tough against anybody.
Who's the Tim? Who's the best football player you've seen in college football this year? Whether you cover it or watch it on TV, is there somebody that sticks out?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch, because I think it's been a good year. I mean, there are a lot of great players.
Yep.
I tend to look at the quarterbacks more. And I really liked Aaron Rodgers at Cal.
And you love him at the next level. I mean, you see this kid's got it all. And he's well coached by Tedford.
I think he's the best pro prospect if there were a draft tomorrow and I was drafted. Others may feel differently. You know, they pick another, someone a good quarterback. And there's an interception off Akina. And it's Clifton Smith, the man that took the punt back 61 yards, comes up with an interception.
Now you must take a knee. You must take a knee now.
1:32 to go.
And you talk about the high. You're right. Aaron Rodgers is a big-time prospect at the next level, and he's still so young. And we'll talk about Tedford, who coached Joey Harrington. He was there with Mike Bellotti, staff at the University of Oregon. And Leinart, Jason White, two top quarterbacks.
A bunch of good quarterbacks.
You know what? You got Reggie Bush, and this Adrian Peterson's done a great job. The key is, can Reggie Bush, has he had enough touches to do that? Alex Smith at Utah. No doubt. Jason Campbell's come on late, but he'll get, you talk about 2 very good running backs in Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams at Auburn. There's been some really, really good performances by offensive and defensive players this year, but, I would imagine when they come out of Southern Cal or Oklahoma, as far as the Heisman Trophy goes, and will it be the running back or will it be the quarterback at either place?
Isn't that something that Bush and Alex Smith go to the same high school?
Yeah, you think they were pretty good?
Oh, boy. I wish I had seen some of that.
I think Urban Meyer discovered a good one when he brought Alex. I think Alex Smith was at 1.4 string at the University of Utah, worked him along, and now look at this kid. He's just a playmaker, and you couldn't make you couldn't have any argument if that kid was invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy banquet also.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, you know, obviously you're the quarterback in the house here, and you've had a chance to see all of these outstanding quarterbacks this season. Let's put it my way. If there was a draft tomorrow, which one do you take?
I think that right now, if I could pick any quarterback in America to lead my NFL team, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best. Obviously a little biased to Matt Leinart because of what he did coming in for Carson Palmer has been so good. They replace offense. He's very accurate. Yeah, but if you're just talking about the whole package, Aaron Rodgers is as good as it gets. And with Jeff Tedford, the head coach, and Norm Chow, the offensive coordinator, who's done such a great job. And you look around the country with Bob Stoops' team and Chuck Long with Jason White. I mean, there's been some great coaching jobs done on quarterbacks and people, and the way these offensive coordinators and head coaches use their weapons. And that freshman Adrian Peterson, well, we're lucky to get to watch him for a couple more years, aren't we? Yeah. That's a beast.
I wish they'd all stay for the distance so the fans in college football can see them.
Yeah, you're right, and enjoy the treat.
Pat Hill, what a job by him tonight. Fresno 70-14. A superlative performance by his team. Great defensive preparation. Overwhelming June Jones and the Hawaii defense, not giving any opportunity for the quarterback, Timmy Chang, the all-time passing leader, had no opportunity to show his wares tonight on ESPN.
Honor for me to be with you tonight, Timmy. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Sean, and to Stacy. We appreciate her work on the sidelines, and on behalf of all of our crew, we say so long from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. Go to bed, everybody.
The wrap on Ron Artest, lack of NBA focus. Friday, he was on his game in Philadelphia, so why were the Pacers still singing the blues? And it's been nothing but happy days are here again for Pittsburgh. Wait until you hear how one Brown says he'll bring Big Ben down. Hear it on SportsCenter right now.
This is SportsCenter.
How the West was won used to star Shaq and Tim Duncan. Now with O'Neal out east, San Antonio, Miami might be an NBA title preview. The reviews on Kobe's Lakers have been average so far. Could LA find the magic in Orlando, or would Grant bury him? Last time Chad Pennington went down, the Jets were buried, while Chad Hurton won't leave New York hanging, not with the Q-Dog under center. At the center of attention in college football this weekend, this game, Auburn and Georgia, the Deep South's oldest rivalry. How's it? Welcome to SportsCenter alongside aspiring music producer Steve Berthium. I'm Neil Everett.
Ron Artest needed a rest from producing a girl group R&B album. Asked for the time off, he got it. He was benched for 2 games, but back Friday in Philly, back in the Pacers lineup, paired up with Jermaine O'Neal. First time they'd been in the starting lineup together all season. Jermaine, your thoughts?
We get paid to play basketball and win games, so hopefully we can put it aside as a team and win games. Our goal is to win a championship, and these are some things that we don't need as a team.
Well, those two got into a locker room shouting match last week. First quarter, Artest blocks Allen Iverson with some help from Jamal Tinsley there. Then down the other end, Artest open for 3. 16 of his 29 in the first half. Artest with a big effort in his first game back from the benching. Second quarter, O'Neal gets the loose ball. He had 20 points at halftime. Pacers up 8 at the break. Under a minute left in the game. Off the Indy turnover, Josh Davis fouled by Artest. They say that's a flagrant foul. A touchy-feely here to be a flagrant. Davis would hit 1 of 2 free throws. Sixers within 3. Final seconds. Philly. Kyle Korver. This from way outside for the tie. Korver, a career-high 23. He hits 7 threes. Pacers get one last shot. Steven Jackson at the buzzer. He can win it. It's not there, and we are going to overtime. In OT, O'Neal playing with 5 fouls. Indy already very undermanned with a whole lot of injuries. O'Neal hits the runner. He finished with a career-high 39 points. Pacers up by 2. Ensuing possession, Iverson with an acting job there, and O'Neal fouls out. Pacers down to 5 healthy bodies at the end of the game. Jamal Tinsley fakes. Iverson goes up. Tinsley, offensive, they say. He's done. That's his 6th. Final seconds. That's his backup, Eddie Gill, trying to guard Allen Iverson. Here's your ball game. The answer, 15 points, 5 of 23 shooting. His first career game-winning buzzer beater. And the Sixers beat the Pacers. Ron Artest put a needle on the record.
Basically, I think everything happens for a reason. Nobody got hurt in this whole situation. Nobody was physically hurt, you know. A bunch of good people on this team. So, you know, good things happen to good people, and I think, you know, things happen for a reason.
Well, sure, the Pacers lost, but there were certainly some positives. Jermaine O'Neal, the big night, after averaging only 15 points with Artest on the sidelines. And with the league's reigning Defensive Player of the Year back in the lineup, Indy forced a whole lot more turnovers. We'll have a whole lot more on this game coming up later in the broadcast.
Shaq in the Heat at Tim Duncan and the Spurs. Miami's Dwayne Wade, DNP ankle injury. Shaq went to high school in San Antonio. Legal flashback. Cole High School, 68-1 career record, 1989 state champs. Hey, Shaq, what was the secret to that team's success?
Well, the secret is me blocking shots and getting rebounds and making my shots well.
That's the same quotes he's using today. First quarter, Miami down. Shaq going up, but Tim Duncan and Radoslav Nesterovic both bust him up, and the other way, Nesterovic for the layup. Shaq with only 6 points in the first half. Second quarter, locked up in a tight one. Manu Ginobili, number 20 for 3, and he's fouled by Eddie Jones. Makes the free throw. That's a 4-point play. Third quarter, Spurs by 9. Shaq hits Duncan and elbows Ginobili and scores. Shaq had 23 and 21 in this one. There's the elbow, and there's the score. Ginobili now at the free throw line in the 4th, and after this game, Miami coach Stan Van Gundy said this play was the backbreaker. Doesn't get blocked out, picks up his missed free throw, hits the 3, fundamentally unsound by the Heat. Another look. Ginobili knows where it's going. He made 5 of 6 from the 3, finished with 29 points. Spurs by 7, now by 9. Duncan, he had 17 and 13. Tony Parker not pictured with 18. The Spurs win 93-84. We go to our man, Tim Legler on Manu.
Well, thanks, Neil. The San Antonio Spurs showed why 2 stars are better than 1. Tonight, Manu Ginobili showed why he is becoming a star player in this league. He made all the key plays down the stretch and teamed along with Tim Duncan to provide that 1-2 punch that the Miami Heat did not have without Dwayne Wade.
Ginobili, 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals after averaging a little more than 10 points per game in his first 2 seasons with the Spurs. He's more than doubled that so far this season. Ginobili is lighting up the Riverwalk, shooting 56% from the floor this season.
This NBA report brought to you by Adidas Basketball, home of the new T-Mac 4.
The Magic welcomed the new-look Lakers, then Kobe turned around and welcomed O-Town's phenom with that jam, but the Magic still had a little thunder of their own to deliver. Are the Browns aiming for Big Ben's head or just trying to get into it? The NFL would like to know, and why there may be just one, not a deuce, in the Steelers' backfield on Sunday. It's been 10 months since Quincy Carter started an NFL game, how he plans to keep the Jets along Herm Edwards' flight path, and why his legs will give the Jets a triple threat. And the last time the Auburn Tigers went down to defeat it was 12 games ago against Georgia. Our game day crew reveals how they plan to claw them dogs.
Sports Center, brought to you by Adidas Basketball, home of the new T-Mac 4. And Corona Extra, miles away from ordinary.
Kobe and the Lakers in the Magic Kingdom. Los Angeles 1-1 on a 4-game road trip. You know, Bryant had 45 minutes of treatment for plantar fasciitis after the loss to Memphis Thursday. And plantar fasciitis is inflammation in the arch of the foot. You can see some of the fellas who've had it. You know, I've had some bad athletes' foot, and well, Steve's feet, that's a whole nother story. Final minute, first half. Lakers blew an 18-point lead, but Bryant gets Deshaun Stevenson up. Not a bad shot for a guy shooting 37% coming into the game. Third quarter, Bryant screen crossover and the hard dunk over Dwight Howard. That's worth another look. Howard, by the way, 15 rebounds, continues to impress on the boards, but this dunk is impressive. In fact, put it on your poster board. Kobe, 41 points, a season high. Fourth quarter, Magic by 5. Steve Francis over Chucky Atkins. Stevie Francis, 11 of 23, 32 points. $1:43 left. Magic up a touchdown. Pat Garrity to Grant Hill. Orlando hit 12 of 22 from 3. Hill made both of his, and we show you both of his. Grant Hill with 27 points. The Magic win 122-113, despite the 41 from Kobe. That's who Greg Anthony's talking about.
Neil, thanks. Kobe Bryant taking 31 shots, a non-issue. Expect that throughout the course of the season. The flip side, though, for me, Steve Francis is really that player that everyone thought he was when he came out of college. This guy's explosive. He attacks the basket relentlessly. He's also learned to become a better distributor of the basketball. Shot selection has improved as well. And the freedom and flexibility to be able to go out and play the game of basketball without being harnessed by that half-court offense in Houston, I think is a blessing in disguise for this young man. The Magic are on their way. Steve, back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Couple of 4-1 teams in Seattle. Sonics hosting the Raptors. Ray Allen, red hot from three-point range so far this season. 63% third quarter, Allen for 3. Sonics up by 8. Fourth quarter, Allen one more time. He had 5 threes in the game. Wide open there, 29 points for Ray Allen. Raptors trail by 4. Final 10 minutes or so. Listen up.
The trailer is Bosch. Scooping toe to foul. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. Chris Bosh had 19. Vince Carter, look out. He had 15. 83-79 Toronto. Final ticks. Carter for 3. Not there. Air ball. 10 seconds left. Tight game. Antonio Daniels right down Main Street. It goes. He had 16. Seattle up by 1. Last chance for the Raptors, and Vince Carter can win it. It's not there. Raptors lose this one 88-87 in Seattle. Hey, the Sonics, they're 5-1. They've won 5 in a row.
Gerard Warren wants his Roethlisberger with a shake. The Cleveland defensive tackle ordering up some pregame that's caught the attention of the NFL police. They say Warren may be fined some Ben Franklins and suspended if he plays dirty on Big Ben this weekend. Warren says paying up to bring the Pittsburgh rookie quarterback down may be worth it. Warren catching the NFL's ear with this line. One rule they used to tell me, kill the head and the body's dead. He added the caveat, I didn't say knock him out of the game. I said just